All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today is Wednesday. It's 1:03 Central Time, and it's now New Year's Eve 2025. It's December 31st now, 2025. New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. We're gonna get in a full show for you today. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna get into some pretty serious subjects. So if you would help us out, hit the like button, share it out with some friends. We'll be right back after about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. A little intro for you guys while I get some likes and tags and shares out there. We'll be right back, guys. Let's grow. It's We Grow Wednesday.
When the indoor farmer has a tale to tell, under the glow of LED lights where his stories dwell, he's not just growing greens, he's sowing seeds of thought. In a studio with a microphone where wisdom's bought. We grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for our communal time. With Waylon, we'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time. We'll live and we'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Join Waylon for our journey so fine. Learning, laughing, and sometimes sad, but always together from the good to the bad. He speaks of the benefits, the pros and the cons of the plant that has helped him feel less withdrawn. With guests from all walks, stories to share, Waylon makes sure that no one feels like they're there alone. So come every Wednesday, find your place in his light, where Waylon, the indoor farmer, invites you to grow not just plants, but your soul, your mind, in a world where together we're truly aligned. Tune in, grow with us, let's expand our view on We Grow Wednesday with Waylon. It's true.
Waylon, the indoor farmer, has a tale to tell. Under the glow of LED lights where his stories dwell, he's not just growing greens, he's sowing seeds of thought. In a studio with a microphone where wisdom's taught. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time with Waylon. We'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time with Waylon. We'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. We grow and they go on.
When the indoor farmer
And we're back. We are back. It is a very special New Year's Eve show for you today, guys, because we want to start off 2026 on a positive, motivational note. So we're going to talk about all things health and wellness as usual. It looks like our friend Tala has it. She said she got a new mic set up, so we're going to give her a few minutes to give it a try.
Camera, not mic. Camera.
Or,
So I don't know if it's not switching to it. That's what I needed to test.
I have seen people have to just refresh or leave and come back for the.
Yeah, but it's weird because see what it's doing is it's accessing the
Ah,
one on the laptop just fine.
there should be a
But
little
on one
down arrow.
on that one, I don't know.
There should be a little right next to the camera picture. There's a little down
Oh,
arrow, and you should be able to pick different options that way. And if it doesn't pick it up right away, oh, there it did. It did change a little bit. Okay,
yeah, so I can close the one up there. That's better.
there you go. Awesome.
Now I
Hi,
just have to get
Tala.
it named correctly.
Yeah, that's okay. That's always an issue. Even for the one that follows me around, I have to deal with. Like, come on now. All
Well,
right,
I'm
guys.
using
Oh, go ahead.
the Archon mounts one with
A little
bendy
bit,
legs.
a little bit bendy. Yeah, I got this.
It's different because I'm used to like
This thing's called a squid.
one of those, but Archon mounts. See, I'm used to when I'm looking at the screen, it looks like I'm actually looking at yeah. Now I just look like I'm not looking at any of it.
Yeah, I have to look at a camera if I want to like make it seem like I'm looking at you, but then I don't get to see me or like what I'm doing or
Yeah.
what's going on in the other screens. It's a constant issue, but I don't think it's too bad of a deal. I think you look fine there. Hey, Margaret, hello. We got Margaret on the Rumble, the YouTube, and the Facebook. Only one commenter and 14 people here. What's up, everybody? Come on in. Hit the hashtag, New Year's hashtag 2026, whatever you want. Let's get the chat rolling. We've got a lot to talk about. Of course, I typically have this like never-ending list, and I actually looked over at Tala's page today and saw a few pretty interesting things that maybe we should talk about. But I do want to get to this the elephant in the room per se. I made a couple of posts about it today. Some of you might have seen it. Maybe why we have 9 people here already on Facebook side because they're all waiting for the drama. I'm just kidding. But no, there is a little something going on, and we're not gonna. I guess I'm gonna be as tactful as I can about this. But online bullying is a real thing. It's never. It seems like it's never gonna go away. Um, but I've been getting attacked lately by somebody who I called friend, who I had in my home and promoted their stuff and their show and all this other things. And we don't need to go into all the details, but this person has sort of warped into what we might call a troll, troll online, which means someone who's just kind of harassing you and like kind of pointlessly trying to take digs at you. And it's been going on for a year now, probably. But what I did was I blocked most of their contact from me, but they still have access to my page. I may end up blocking it, but I kind of part of me doesn't block it because if you don't let them have that little outlet somewhere, it seems like that would make them okay. Suddenly, let's make 100 fake accounts and we're just going to do all this and just a bunch of stuff. And so I can handle it, and I don't, it's not going to make me commit suicide, although there are some very serious things that the person has been saying that's like, are you trying to get me to self-harm? Is that what's going on here? When you go online, you're mostly seeing the good side of most people. Like you might have a few friends that are complainers and say a lot of like negative stuff, but most of the time you're only seeing this sort of beautiful kind of image of what people put themselves out, right, Tala? You're not trying to put a lot of your dirty laundry out on the internet, right? And so you have this image sometimes of people who you think are doing better than you, and so it starts to get at you and starts to really fester and make you have a lot of negative thoughts. And I feel like that's really a case where this has happened. The person may be jealous or maybe has this image that I'm doing much better than them. Differences of political opinions can maybe start that riff. And that's kind of my analyzation of this. And it just has gotten to the point now where someone coming in only to my page, I don't go to that person's page. I don't go and I don't interact. I don't care. I don't need to see that. And I want them to know that I wish them the best, but you know what? You just let it go. When you know there's somebody that doesn't like you and doesn't want
Yeah.
to, or doesn't like your, I guess, criticisms, doesn't like what you're giving them, I guess, then you just need to go. You need to just leave them alone unless you're trying to continue to build some kind of a, I don't know, a beef, whatever you want to call it, trying to have some kind of a public thing about it. I stopped responding to their DMs months and months ago, because if you're going to come at me like that publicly, like when I do little live streams on my phone, sometimes like just come in and be like, "Oh, this is entertaining. This is entertainment. What are you?" Just kind of like this nonstop barking and trolling. Um, and there's a lot of negative things I could say in reverse to this person, but that's not really what we're here for today. It's not about
Yeah.
building a beef. It's about talking about how serious it is, because this person doesn't even know what I'm going through. I have PTSD. I have depression, anxiety, all these things that you might not see on a daily basis because I don't try to put those things out there. That's not why I'm up here. But they never know. They could be pushing me over that last edge. That's that last straw. Oh, you're right. No, I have no friends. You're right. No one likes me. You're right. All I care about are the numbers. All of you people in the audience are just numbers to me. All of these things that are just as hurtful as possible. Oh, you have zero friends. Nobody likes you. That's the kind of thing you want to tell somebody when you want them to like go further into the depression of, no one likes me, and like, that's not the kind of thing you want to like. You're not trying to lift someone up in that respect. Anyway, I'm done
Yeah.
rambling. What do you think, Tala? Have you had any issues even as an adult with this type of thing?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, sorry, you guys, I'm still adjusting the camera. It's new, so
Okay.
I'm figuring out where it's comfortable.
They're
So
used to that
sorry
with
if I'm
me.
making
Half
anyone
the time I'm
seasick.
muted. I could be muted for 5 minutes talking, and then they're going code two in the audience. So like, yeah, don't worry about it.
So it's gonna be fiddly for just a little bit. By next week, I'll have it figured out. But yeah, I have kind of a janky setup to begin with. So it's all new stuff. I'm used to being the live streamer just carrying the phone, you know. This is how I got used to it.
Your mic is coming in a little
So
fuzzy now for some reason.
yeah, probably because of scooting it back. I'm usually leaning into it.
We don't want to have to make you do that either, but
Well, what
yeah,
I
I can hear
don't
you.
know is if it's I don't know if this camera has a mic.
That
I
might
have
be
no
what's
idea.
if you click the little down arrow next to the mic, just like we did with the camera, that might give you some other options. Maybe that's what's going on, because it does sound a little
Oh,
different than last
yeah.
week. But
So
yeah, I'll.
yeah, it says the webcam, so that's why. So the microphone on that is
Mhm.
not as good. Well, let me
Yeah,
try a
I wouldn't
couple of.
expect it to. Sure, sure. I can ramble all day. I like to try to make sure you get plenty of time. I want to be a I don't like having a co-host that it never gets the airtime. That's the whole
Yeah.
point.
So
Um,
just tell me if one of them sounds better than the others.
Tell me when you switched it, because it sounds like the same one there.
I might have to go back to the one that's on the laptop, which I think I can do.
I mean, I
So
can still hear you. It just sounded like every now and then it kind of gave you a
the
little robot-y.
Realtek is the laptop, I think. I think that's the laptop. But I don't know if it'll switch because the camera could be holding on to it, you know?
Sure. No, you sound fine now, actually. What's up, Mess? Mess in the house for a change. He says, Where's the beef? I like beef. I like beef too. I'm definitely a meat eater, but I don't. I try not to perpetuate online beefs because I don't see it as bringing the right kind of crowd in. You might actually get a
Yeah.
lot of excitement and a lot of people want to come in and see it, and that can make you actually want to do more of that because oh,
Yeah.
look at all this engagement. Everyone loves the beefs. You're like, no, you're
That's what
just.
X has encouraged.
Hmm.
That's one of the problems. X has
Yeah,
encouraged that because of the monetization. It's the easiest way to get that engagement and get paid. Fight with somebody. I won't do it. I refuse to do that. It's stupid. And speaking of the live streaming, I mean, I dealt with a lot of that there and it was it was guilt by association. It was the stupidest thing because
Mm,
there was somebody who I do not know why. I don't know what his original beef was. He was mad at Greg. That was where the fight started between the two of them, and because we were broadcasting besties, he started taking it out on me too. And originally, like, I used to go to the guy's broadcasts. Um, Pretty much everybody did because he was a large account. But he decided that he didn't like me. He didn't like the fact that I supported Greg over everybody else. And he just started abusing me too. And he lives in New York. So he was on a rooftop broadcasting every night talking about the real Greg Lopez and talking
oh
about Tala
wow.
no excuses. And it was like, dude, just shut up about me and move on. But yeah, he was quite abusive. And you know, at the time it loomed a lot larger because I was new as a broadcaster and I was trying to build a following and build a reputation. And here's all these people in there listening to him and taking his word for it as to what kind of a person I was. And I had, like, he would tell people, tell his followers, don't troll them, don't go troll them. I didn't tell you to troll them. But of course
Mm,
they would. You know what I mean? So I had
right.
someone who would repost my stuff and say ugly things about me. And it's like, just leave me alone, you know? I thought I left that behind in grade school. I was one of those kids, I was picked on. We didn't say bullying back then. This is 5 decades ago. We didn't use that word. It
Right.
wasn't heard very often. It's I was picked on though. So, public school for me was a nightmare. I was actually harassed by both students and teachers,
Wow.
and my experience with public school was crying at school every single day. It was it was wretched. So this is one of the reasons
Sounds
I was
terrible.
not thriving. It's one of the reasons my parents moved me to the co-op. When people hear private school, they go, "Oh, money." No, we were on food stamps. Okay, it's not
Right.
money. It was a private co-op. That was kind of a thing back then. The post hippie era survivalists, we call it preppers now. I never heard that word before, but
Mm.
I grew up with survival skills. We cooked at home, we canned, we preserved stuff. My parents got dry ice and preserved pinto beans, rice, and uh, popcorn in 5-gallon tins. We still got them. They were still sealed up. I've got one of the wheat. It's probably non-GMO.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not old.
Because it's before then. Yeah.
50
Um.
years, yeah.
It looks
So,
like. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
went through all of that, and I was different, so it was better in the private school, but as I said, I thought I left this behind in grade school. Like, why are we still doing this in 2025? We're grown, you know?
I. That's why part of me actually feels for them in reverse because somebody who is how do I put this, loving themselves or at peace, someone who is happy doesn't do that kind of thing,
Yep.
you know? And so I actually have compassion for somebody that's clearly hurting, and coming at me with my 5,000 followers is not going to like create a happiness for you in your life,
Right.
it's not going to give you anything, even if you think it's going to get you more engagement or some kind of weird thing. That's not even going to happen. And it's funny because I went to look for this on the computer and I couldn't find it. I thought maybe they deleted the comment, but then I found it on my phone. For some reason, it's there. So I don't know. I don't get it. But it's just like you talk about it. So they come at me about my ego as well in this, which I think is funny because I don't go to your page. Why would my ego have anything to do with you? And so it's like you talk about pretending to be a friend, but no one is your friend, and all you care about is content. LOL, all these people in the comments are stats to you. Like a bunch of like assumptions, putting words in my mouth, and most of them follow me while too while you talking shit LOL, to say I'm pretending to be something is wild. I didn't even say anyone's name. So like if you're gonna take those posts to heart, the problem is in is in your court. Um, and then just a bunch of like more about I don't put out numbers, da da da. You seem more jealous of me trolling you. No, actually, to be honest, most people who watch my show have know this by now. But Facebook asks you to, or they don't ask you, but they have these weekly sort of goals, right? And so one of those things is like make 25 public posts, right? And so I don't really make a lot of posts on my page because that's where I go live. That's where I do my show. I don't really there's no reason for posts. But now I've been making an effort to make more posts, and one of the things I do is I'll say like I'll be at the end of the week and I'll say how many do I have left? Okay, I think there's like 10. So I'll just go on and make 10 posts that say public post number 1 of 10, public post number 2 of 10. And it's a funny kind of inside joke, especially to everybody who watches my show, because I've explained it like, look, I'm just doing the things to get what the Facebook is asking for. And it's funny because a lot of people who watch actually engage with that post, and they'll hashtag WTIF and stuff. They know that's all I'm doing. But then people who don't actually know me enough, like this, who laugh at those posts and say that it's weird or something. And I'm like, you don't even know what's going on. And so I try to give people that space, but it's just been a nonstop thing, and it just kept escalating. So we had to bring it up because, like I said, you guys, you do not know what that next person is dealing with. And so, yes, while I can have compassion with somebody clearly hurting, I also know that this person, I'm probably not the only person that they're doing this to. And there are plenty of people that still commit suicide because of online bullying. So it's such a serious thing, and that's why it connects to today's show, because of the health and wellness aspect of things. Because us being online all the time has been obviously unhealthy, but at the same time, you have to be aware and just kind of maintain your reasons for doing the internet thing. And if it's just out there to be out there for no reason, yeah, you're going to get sucked into all sorts of things, rabbit holes and stuff. But if you have a sort of purpose, if you have a reason for utilizing these tools, these networking tools, then you got to just get, sort of maintain the course and make sure that you remind yourself every now and then, like I do. I talk about it sometimes, why I'm doing this, why I do Wednesday show, why I do Thursday show. Each show has a different reason, different purpose for me, and that's why I'm up here. That's why I'm doing it. So people that are out there just trying to spread negativity are the reason why I decided to go more into the internet. I was one of those people that was like, "Oh no, I don't, I barely post. Facebook's evil, all this and that." Like that's how I was, and I thought, well, let's just reverse that and try to dump more positive content into the internet to try to like dilute the waters of all this negativity and all the evil. So it's just that's where I'm at, and we can
Yeah.
move on to like other stories, but this is just something that I had to, and that's another reason why I'm posting about it, you guys, just to get those those 25 posts. I'll be like, imagine being this and this and this, and then only the person who's doing it is the one that gets offended, and so instead of me calling them out directly, instead of me, now I have put their name out in my private chat. I'm like, look, you guys, I don't like giving ultimatums on, hey, who you can be friends with, but I did say I don't really want any of his friends
Yeah.
around me. So if that's the thing, if that is sort of an ultimatum, I guess it is. Fine, sue me. But at this point, with all of the stacked up issues over and over, a lot of you have seen it. I just that's where I'm at. So you guys have to
I'm the
decide.
same. I'm the same
Yeah,
way. Like, if I see something that I know is blatantly problematic, and it's not just limited to me, I know it's not going to be, then if I feel like I'm close enough to somebody that I can have that conversation without it being a problem, then I'll just alert them, "Hey, I just want you to be cautious. You make your own decisions. You follow who you want to follow, but I just
right,
want you to be cautious because here's the progression of what happened." I try to let people know that when I'm, and it's somebody that I kind of want to protect, that
right.
feeling.
Somebody you care about, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, I, I've got I've got a couple people on X that are like this, like they don't have nearly the influence that Waxman did on Periscope. They don't have nearly that. They don't. And I do not know what that was about. I swear, I think that some of the accounts on Periscope were a social experiment, and he may have been one of them. Maybe he was getting paid. I don't know. It was weird. But on X, it's just, anybody can do anything. And yeah, there's one in particular who's been very. I don't understand. I don't like. I have no idea what is the problem. I do not know. But it started with them being mad that I didn't follow them back. Now,
Right.
anybody who knows me now knows that I am not going to give you an instant follow back.
Yeah, that's I don't do that. Yeah.
99.9% of the time, you are going to have to earn that. I appreciate if you followed me, and I'm going to look at your content, and I may or may not follow based on that. I might want to hear you talk in a space.
Right.
I might want to spend a little time watching the way that you engage with other people on the platform because I'm just not that trusting for obvious reasons. So, this was somebody who wasn't patient and also just wasn't nice, just wasn't a nice, just not a good person, just not like every time they opened their mouth, whine, complain, somebody did this, somebody did that, I'm upset about that. Like nothing, ugh,
Negativity. Yeah,
Yeah,
negativity.
let me
And
hear some living waters, I mean,
right.
I don't preach anymore, but that's in the back of my head. Living
I
water.
I see that too on X, and it's like I feel like where you see all the negativity. If I see, okay, this is how I follow somebody is if I see their name keep coming up in like within circles of other people that I follow, and I see them interacting, like you said, I see them on screen or on on voice or whatever it is. Then okay, well, this person seems to be like in my orbit, let me go ahead and if I like what they're doing, let me follow them. And that's how I do it on Facebook. I don't follow people that have a bunch of mutual friends. I did at one point just to get to a certain number because Facebook pushed everyone years ago to become content creators. And then if
Yeah,
it was like suddenly they said your friends list is now your follower list, and they were trying to retroactively change their site so that it was matching all the other new sites that were coming out. Every other site says followers, and Facebook was the only one that still had this friends list.
friends, yeah.
And so they did this thing where they were like, well, if you get to 5,000 followers, you can get stars, you can get monetization. And at the same time, they say all you got to do is switch your profile from private to public, become a public person, and then you get all these people as now your follower list. And then all those people that you went to school with that never talked to you, now they're followers. Oh wow, this is great. It was nice at the time, but then looking back, it wasn't a great thing because it pushes now it makes my profile compete with my page and all these different it's just a bunch of gumming up the works, and they made every person think that they could just go and make money online. And now Facebook doesn't actually, I don't see as much as of the negativity being pushed in the algorithm as far as people making money on it. But what I do see over there is all of the fake, the follow for follow trains and all of these engagement for engagement, all these weird like what do you call them, like anagrams or like little abbreviations for if you're in that crew of like we just engage with each other in a big circle to make money, and there's really no like legitimate in real engagement. That's what I see on Facebook, and so I try to stay away from that as much as
Yeah.
possible. It's funny though because I post in this group that is there's like almost 1 million people in there, and I will specifically say I do not do F for F. And but I do have a show. If you want to be, come on as a guest, we could talk about what you do if you actually do make content. And what's funny because I'll still get a whole bunch of these follow for follow followers from it. They'll be like, follow back. It's like, you didn't even read what I said, guy. Like, no, that's not how it works.
I don't like follow trains like, tag 30 people and no, just don't because I have to mute it now because now I have all these notifications from people engaging with that post and I can't find the ones that I want to see. It's bad on X. It's just like I don't want to get bombed with all that. I was giggling because I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, there's a
Ain't
lot of
no
good
follow
chat.
back girl. I gotta remember that. Ain't no follow back girl because that's a good song. I'm gonna use that now.
Who said that? I'm looking here. Diane said something good. Who said
It's
that one? Let's see. Diane
Plumber
says,
Blue.
"Oh, Chris, yeah, yeah.
That's
What's up,
hilarious.
Chris?" Diane says some people can be in a bad state of mind, depression, etc., then have people that harass them that causes them to end their lives, and that's one reason I'm bringing this up. I'm not bringing, and I had some people, looks like Ty and a few others are asking the name. Guys, it's not real hard to see if you just go to my page and you'll see multiple posts now that say something to the effect of like now there's I made a new post because now this guy has his buddy on my page telling me about my ego. I'm like, I don't know you, guy. You don't know me. I don't know who you are. Why are you here talking to me about my ego as if you know me? And so it's just another,
Yeah,
it's
that's
more
odd.
stacking and more, like they're gonna maybe more people might come in on this and stuff. So it's real easy to go find, as long as they haven't deleted it. I did take screenshots, of course, but
Yeah, I
it's
always
just,
do. Just
yeah.
receipts, you know.
Well, hell,
If
there's a
somebody
whole bunch I
says,
didn't take from the last
yeah,
year. Every time in the
yeah.
chat they try to come in
And
with
it's
a,
not to
you know.
it's not to hold on to it unnecessarily, but sometimes you need evidence, you know. And if anybody thinks that I'm not keeping track, I am, Doesn't mean I'll do anything about it, but I am. And
So we got, yeah, we got
it's a
this guy
pertinent it's
in
a
the
pertinent
chat.
topic. Like, I'm glad you brought it up. Like, I think that this is really pertinent being that it's New Year's Eve. I think that's
Hmm.
important because, like, it is true that, going into a new year it's not necessary, but it's a good time to use it as a delineation of, I'm not gonna mess with so and so anymore. I'm just gonna. But when it's somebody that you have been the one to walk away and say, I just want distance, and like, I happen to know this individual that I was talking about, they were running around talking about me behind my back, and to the wrong people, obviously, because they were friends with me. so so it was, well, I'm just gonna block her. I'm just gonna block her. And it was
Right.
pointed out to them, if you do that and she is co-hosting a space, you will not be able to go into the space. That's the only reason they didn't block me, which I find really hilarious because it's like, that, why should that make a difference to you? Like, you so badly want to cram yourself into this particular circle that you can't block me now because you won't be able to go in there. It's like, go find
Right.
another space, you
So
know?
not to interrupt, but we have, I guess he's here now. I haven't seen any comments. Oh, it's because I'm not watching on my page. That's why. I got to switch to my page to see his comments because he's blocked on my profile. And then someone else named Chris with just Chris, who spells their name that way. Chris King Sag Light Saggy. Oh, very saggy. Chris says, but you're live on Facebook. Make it make sense. I'm not even sure what you're responding to, bud,
What?
because I explained
We're
how
live on
I
Facebook.
yes, I believe Facebook has a lot of negative and evil, but that's why we are here to put out something a little more useful to people, and not just useful, positive, entertaining, all of those things, which is which I try to concentrate on. Let me switch over here so I can see. I don't know. I mean, I guess we should kick him out. I don't. I didn't really plan on blocking him. I didn't think he would be coming here today in order to. Um, I'm not really
Well,
sure
I
what the
mean,
point is.
you don't have to. That's up to you. But let me say this, since they're listening. Uh, Speaking from the perspective of someone who lives with catastrophic illness, like life-threatening things that are incurable, there's way more important things in life than wallowing in whatever misery it is that makes you wanna attack people. I mean, that's kinda sad. Like, we're here for just this blink, and we're gone. Like, it's been said that, 100 years from now, nobody's gonna remember anything about you.
Right.
Now, if you make a huge name for yourself as a celeb, a big time, sports person, or athlete, that's the word I was looking for.
Mhm.
If you do any of those things and you're well known, it's documented historically and everything, sure, people will remember you, but that's not the majority of us. Like, 99% of us, blink, gone. So, that thing about your birth and your death date, and what's important is the dash in the
Yeah,
middle.
the dash.
What are you
What's
gonna
in
do with
there?
that? What are you gonna do with that? See, I have a bucket list. I had a bucket list starting really young because I was already aware my life could be a little bit shorter.
Hmm.
It could be a lot shorter. I don't know. But here's the key. You don't know either.
You don't really
You
know
could,
anything
you
about the
know,
next person, really.
a truck flips over on the highway. Not to wish that on anybody, but stuff happens. You know,
Uh,
some landslide you get caught in, or uh, like my mentor, you could have a PFO that's not closed, the little hole between the chambers of your heart, and not know it because there's no symptoms until one thing happens. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. And it's a large percentage of the population that have this problem. You don't know until you suddenly have a stroke. 1% survival rate. Okay, he
hmm,
survived it, but many do not. You don't know. You're not promised tomorrow. So why are you wasting time doing something pointless, useless,
hmm.
disruptive, and ignorant?
Right.
Like,
Like
find
right
something
now,
useful.
the person in question is just going crazy in the chat. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. It's just, it's like disagree with everything I say. Why not you just why not just go somewhere else? Like,
Yeah,
if
if it
everything
bothers
I'm
you so
saying to
much,
you is, yeah, like if you just gotta,
go for a walk.
yeah. So let's move on, though. I mean, I see Ty was wanting to come up. Ty, we don't want to, like, honestly, I just wanted to talk about it enough to sort of get out what I wanted to say. Most of you that follow my page and see these posts kind of see it happening. Just a nonstop sort of, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, you're mad. I'm not mad. You're mad you couldn't speak on me without me hearing it, and this because someone didn't agree with. See, like, none of that makes any sense. Like, I'm not mad at you.
Makes sense 'cause you could
I'm
have blocked them and you didn't. They're here, so what
right.
are they crying about?
I could block you, but what he's saying is, oh, I didn't mean to do that. My camera zoomed in on me. What he's saying is, like, basically, if I block him, he'll still see what I say. Is what he's saying there. So, like, why would I even? I don't need to block you. Well, I'm not
Yeah.
worried about you seeing what I say anywhere. I'm not worried
We're
about
both
those
public
things.
broadcasters. We're
Yeah,
both
like,
very transparent with our work. It's out there. So, I mean, if we wanted to hide stuff, it would be private accounts, right?
right, right. And does a mad person come out and, like, in compassion to talk about how, hey, we're not out here to get people to push people over the edge and commit suicide. Like, where is the mad in there? And it's just somebody
Yeah.
that is just a nonstop. And so I'm not gonna keep reading the comments all day for that, but we are gonna move on. And I hope that the person, I hope you feel better after doing whatever you got to get it out, whatever you got to do, you and your friends in the comments or whatever. It doesn't bother me, but I do worry about who else. I worry about you, and I worry about who else you might be doing this to, because I've seen, you with other kind of beefs and stuff, and I think with your industry, uh, rap or rock or hip hop or whatever it is that you consider yourself, that is kind of a normal thing. Oh, I'm beefing with this other, entertainer or whatever. That's not my thing. That's not what we're here
Mm.
for. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and share in my list. And actually, before we go to my list, why don't we check out your right down the top of your page? You had a few very interesting posts that looks kind of scary, actually.
We'll have to talk about the tortillas at some point.
Uh oh, I don't think I saw that one. So let me
Ugh.
share this in. And
Oh, man. Yeah. When we get to it, I'll have some things to say. That's one of them.
okay, so we're gonna go down the list because I saw. Oh, this is interesting. Did you know a baby octopus sneaked into a tank at a Monterey Bay
Monterey Bay.
aquarium,
I've been
secretly
there.
feeding on crabs and causing unexpected mischief? Interesting. It's a tiny little thing. If that's a real
Highly
picture.
intelligent. Octopus
Yeah, they are.
are very intelligent. Yeah.
Okay, this looks scary here. Let's check it out.
Yeah,
We
me
begin
too.
with
It's right up
breaking
here.
news in the mountains north of Los
It's
Angeles,
by
where a
it's near
stretch
you,
of
huh?
Angeles Crest Highway has been heavily damaged. You're watching the KTLA 5 News at 6. I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Cher Calvin. All lanes of State Route 2 are closed near Cedar Springs, just east of Newcomb's Ranch, to State Route 138 in San Bernardino County. Now, crews have been clearing large boulders that tumbled onto the road and washed out part of the roadway. As you see there, you can see that section of the scenic highway buckled after the rock slides. Now, the storm damage and closure comes as more rain is headed our way, set to arrive on New Year's Eve.
We begin with breaking news in the mountains north of Los Angeles, where a stretch of
Not
Angeles
the first time either.
has been heavily damaged.
Oh,
You're watching the KTLA.
can mute it now while we
Not the
talk
first
about it.
time either. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's my route to go up to Vincent Gap for Mount Baden Powell. And it's been 2 years I haven't summited. Once I just couldn't that year, and then the fires. Now this, I don't know. We're going into the rainy season. Are they going to get it fixed by the time hiking season opens up again? Because I think that's this side of it.
Do you get sinkholes around there too? Or is it just like
Not
sandy kind
typically.
of
Yeah, not
maybe?
typically. More out in the desert.
Hmm,
This is the problem here is it is California. The ground's unstable, and it's a mountain road that's on the edge of a cliff. And I mean, we just got the 38, which is the back way around from Mentone Beach through the
hmm.
mountains to get to Big Bear. We just got it repaired. It was scheduled to open Christmas Eve with a storm coming in. The, I don't know why they thought they were going to do that, and it washed out again. We knew it was going to. So, but
Mikey
that's
says
up
he's a
by
50-year-old gangster rapper from the hayfields. Let's go, Mikey. But yeah, that's scary though, especially if it happened like while you were on it, or maybe, or
still
even
older
like a
than him.
slide. Yeah, or even like a rock slide or something from up above the
Yeah.
highways
That's
in the
part of it.
mountains.
So we're that
Yeah,
whole area is part of I'm not sure about that exact spot, but the whole area got torched, that last set of fires. So this could be, part of that, and that's what happens. We end up with the fire coming through. Now there's nothing to hold everything in place, and we get mudslides. Yeah.
right. Guys, I see a lot of you like it seems like you maybe either in defense of me or in just interest of talking to trolls. Just just realize that I made all this I did all this publicly. It's all like anything. That's why I don't talk in the DMs. There's no question as to what's being said. It's all out there where you can see it. So don't worry about arguing. I mean, they can hang out and maybe learn something, and we'll deal with it later, I guess. But this looks
Mikey,
crazy.
you're right. You could get hit by a bus or you could be in a landslide like that. You never
Yeah,
know. You're right.
yeah. Like there's bigger things going on in the world than what your comments are saying. But to be honest, I do appreciate it because you got to have some hate, got to have some haters. Otherwise, just like the saying goes, you're not really doing anything if nobody
That
is nobody's disliking you for some reason. But let's check
I'm
this
okay
out.
with
It looks
being
crazy.
controversial as long as it's for the right reasons.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be some discussion. That's why my show on Thursdays is for that reason to where we can discuss differing perspectives on things. But
Yeah.
some people, especially the person in question, wouldn't let you get a word in edgewise if they could. It's just intense. You just can't ever get a word in on that one. So it's a separate issue. But
It's the adult version of la 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 la. It's where they
right.
keep interrupting and they won't stop. Yeah.
So what are we
Uh,
looking at here? We have ice balls
yeah,
and lots
ice
of them.
balls. Is that crazy?
Ranging in size from tennis balls to bowling balls, these chunks of ice are rounded and sculpted by the strong waves. The onshore flow forces them to pile up along Lake Ontario's edge, where in time they will freeze solid. So this is Lake Ontario. Okay.
So many interesting formations. Like one thing I wish I could see in person one day, but it's really kind of scary, is an ice shove. Have you ever seen videos of those?
No,
So an
never heard
ice
of it.
shove, you end up with these shards and it starts pushing off the lake. I guess it's wind. And I mean it can actually like tear up a house. And that's the thing is some homes are right by the lakes. So, yeah,
Oh, I could see that.
it comes off
Constant
it, like,
barrage.
piles up really deep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the sound, it's almost like a train, chunk, 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 you can hear it. Yeah.
I gotta figure out where the heck we left off at. I need to
And then I wanna see, like, frazzle ice. That's another cool one. They get
frazzle
it in
eyes.
Yosemite. Yeah,
Hmm.
frazzle ice is when it starts breaking up in the spring, and it's like sheets and shards of it on the top of the river. Yeah.
It's funny because
Water's
I see all of these when I save them, and so it's hard for me to remember if we talked about them. There's so many. The
So while
deer,
you're
I think we
hunting,
did. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, we did talk
I'll
about
tell you
this.
about the
Okay.
tortillas real quick. So, okay, in the state
Is
of
there a
California,
post?
there's a bunch. They're everywhere.
I mean,
I
did
mean,
you?
most of mine are videos though.
Okay,
Um,
that's right.
some of
Just
them are
talked about
long,
it then.
a
Yeah.
lot of rants. But so September 2024, unbeknownst to us, we just found out about this. Uh, was it 24? Yeah. Gavin Newsom signed this into law. Understand that folic acid is not natural. It is not found in nature. It is synthetic. It's not helpful. What you need is folate, which
Hmm.
comes from food, which you can get from things like, you're going to love this, beans, avocados, leafy greens, tomatoes, typical Hispanic diet like we eat in California. So he made it law so that any masa, as well as the tortillas, masa and corn tortillas in this state must have folic acid if you're going to sell it here. Now, when you
Sweet.
consume folic acid, it blocks you from absorbing folate from your food. This is not beneficial.
No,
And like I take a supplement, let me find it real quick. I'll
they're
show you. This
linking
is
this
what
to
I take.
autism. Like it's a huge issue in
That's right.
autism. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's right. And I am on the spectrum. So this is Jarrow formulas. It's methyl B12 and methyl folate. So this is what I take, and this keeps me from becoming anemic. I'm an autoimmune patient. What I did not know until this year, the reason this works for me, all the other signs are there. Apparently, I have the MTHFR gene mutation. So this folic acid is even worse for me. It's not good for anybody. This
Mm-mm.
is what I can't get across to people. This is not just about those of us with the mutation. It's not good for anybody. But for me, it's worse because I don't methylate correctly. So I can't clear folic acid like I should. It builds up in your system. You get too much. And now this becomes almost useless in anything you're getting from your food. It's really, really unhealthy. It's not a good thing. It can cause serious problems. So I ran out to buy a bunch of masa. I got so mad. I got mad enough to buy masa and make my own tortillas. Okay, I'm covered. And then I found out it's the masa too.
Yeah.
So I cleared the shelf at Walmart of the brand that I was buying. I got the last few bags of the blue corn and a bunch of the yellow. But when that's gone, then what? Then what am I supposed to do?
Talk to
And
local
I mean, I
farmers.
literally at one point in one of my videos, I'm yelling in the camera, "Why are you trying to kill us?"
Right. No, it's
Because
very serious because
just
there's no
die.
reason for it. There's no like
Yeah,
they I could understand 30, 40 years ago when they thought, "Oh, this will be a cool like a quick and easy way to add more folate back into our diet." And then they were wrong. Okay, now let's correct,
yeah,
please. Let's course correct from there. And Mikey
yeah.
says, "Isn't that taken during pregnancy?" And yes, this is an issue, not just taken, but
That's the
it's
issue.
part of our diets in general. And then while you're pregnant, boom, your baby is it's going right through the blood brain barrier and not and clogging their brains up. Go ahead.
It's
Sorry.
supposed to be folate, though.
Yeah.
It should be
Yeah.
natural folate, and that's the problem. They have been prescribing folic acid to pregnant women, and now everybody believes folic acid is what prevents birth defects. It's folate. We need the natural folate. So, I mean, I don't usually say this kind of thing, but I'll say this. If you want to talk about something that sounds like a racially targeted law, this is it.
Mm,
Because what they just said was, "You don't know how to eat and you have a lot of babies, so let me help you."
mm,
It's just rude.
right.
And what they're doing is actually creating the problem because if you buy tortillas and you eat those, now you're not going to get the folate from the beans, the rice, the avocado, or not the rice, the avocados, the leafy greens, the tomatoes, and all of that. They're actually making the problem worse.
Oh, big time.
It's like all they need to do is just teach people to take a folate, a natural folate supplement. And quite honestly, I'm not rich. This is not that expensive. I mean, this one that I buy on Amazon is 100 tablets. It lasts
But
me
how
more
do
than
you
3
get
months.
around the folic acid that's being put in things without us knowing? And so,
Read
because you
every
taking that,
label, you guys. Read every single
right?
label. Like, look at
Because
your bread.
it's not just it's not, let me just re-explain this to everybody. It's not just the fact that it's they thought it would replace folate and it doesn't really work for us. It's the fact that it actually gets in the same line. Imagine a traffic in the street. It gets in that same line that the actual folate that we need goes
Yeah,
into to get into our brain, and it clogs up the line, and it doesn't
that,
go in. It's
yeah.
keeping you from getting anything that you need. I don't know if there's an answer to that, to like clear the path. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but
So let me give you another example real quick, and this is an important one for people to know because I hear a lot of people talk about,
mm,
I can't sleep, I'm going to try taking melatonin, or they say, I've been taking it for years. Please, for the love of all that is good and holy, please do not take melatonin, you guys, because there's a couple of problems. The
never
first
have.
is it stops your body from producing its own melatonin. Just like if you take a steroid, you stop producing your own cortisol, okay?
It's a
And
crutch.
so
Yeah,
that's why
you're
people end up
yeah.
taking more and more and more,
Mm,
but it is not beneficial. If you want your body to produce its own melatonin, one, have a regular schedule. Make sure you have a routine, right? To
mm,
get, sleep on time and get sun in the morning and, all those things. But as long as, this is a huge caveat, huge, as long as you are not taking a prescription antidepressant, as long as you are
mm,
not, then your safe supplement is going to be 5-HTP. So that 5-hydroxytryptophan is a Griffonia seed extract. It boosts serotonin. That's why serotonin syndrome is dangerous. You
mm,
can't take it with an antidepressant. It reduces norepinephrine and it stimulates your body to produce its own melatonin. Okay? So that supplement, for whatever reason, maybe because it's synthetic, I don't know,
mm.
but they actually had to put a warning on it because it will trigger flares in autoimmune patients. And you don't know if you have the predisposition for autoimmune disease. It's extremely common. Trigeminal neuralgia, that's autoimmune. The reaction to statin medications, that's autoimmune. The um, cascade that COVID and the vaccine cause autoimmune. Okay. The cytokine storm. That's the word I was looking for. That's autoimmune. Okay. Very, very common. So if you take melatonin, you could trigger autoimmune conditions that would have otherwise lied dormant and you can really hurt yourself. So it is the same thing with this. You must read every label. And look, I know it's time consuming, but every time you go to the store, like I need a loaf of bread and I got this brand that I'm buying and it doesn't have folic acid. I don't care. Every time you buy it, look at the label because they could change it just like they did with the masa and with the tortillas just now. You must. Yes, I have fibromyalgia. But that I take a magnesium malate. So it takes a little bit more time, but it's going to keep you safer. The less often you expose yourself to this synthetic folic acid, then that gives your body time to clear it if you do have an exposure to it. So that's what it is for me is like the occasional little bit of seed oil. Not great. But the rest of the time I'm eating correctly so my body can handle it. But the toxic overload is where you get into such a risk factor. And I could be taking this, and there's no point if I'm eating too much stuff with folic acid in it.
Right. That's the
Yeah.
that's the big issue, and I have that problem. I still eat plenty of garbage, so I don't actually think taking supplements would help me, except for magnesium, and then maybe get to the right magnesium. I just want to say, my friend Ty is going to come up and hang out with us for a little bit.
Cool.
Ty, I already told him, like, look, I see him very animated in the audience, having fun with our friend there. that's not why he's coming up. Ty is interested in a lot of these same topics, so I want to make sure that's clear. But yeah, let's check something else out because you and I think could talk about the folate all day because that's something that I was just recently brought aware of, and it's so important, but also like a little bit like what do you do? So you have
And I'm
to
boycotting all the commercial tortillas at this point. I won't buy a single one that's got that additive, so I'm now
talk to
making my
local
own at
farmers.
home.
I feel like that might be your best bet. You know,
Small chain restaurants are exempt
mm,
usually. It was the same thing with the whole trans fat law. Taco Joe's in San Bernardino cooks with lard. Yeah, so
James, I see your comments, brother. You said you're taking vitamin B12. Yeah. I mean, again, you got to be careful with supplements because if you don't change your diet, supplements might be pointless in a
yeah.
lot of ways. Ty's playing peekaboo with
Or you could
us.
overdo it. You could
Tyler,
overdo
Sorry.
it.
Tyler. This is my friend Ty here. He's actually local to Illinois. Before you say anything, though, Ty, I've been meaning to bring this up. I wanted to tell Tala I'm standing on this thing barefoot while we're having a conversation. It's got a tons of like little pointy bumps all over the bumps. The bumps have bumps. It feels so. It hurts so good. You know, it hurts so good. But yeah,
What is it? A
Ty.
foot massager?
No, it's like pressure points. You stand on a
Acupressure.
certain way, and it's pushing all these different pressure points all over your foot, and it feels tingly, and it's
So
good.
yeah, a foot massager in a way.
Okay, in a way, I guess. But yeah, pushing those. It's ancient. It's like Eastern medicine. All the acupuncture
Yeah.
points and pressure points and stuff like that.
Does it work?
Um,
Do you like it?
I actually do like it because I have some kind of issue at night sometimes, or in the first thing in the morning. If I get up, my foot will be like not numb, but like hurt, like I can barely walk on it
Better
almost.
fasciitis. I will get you some exercises because you want to stop it while you can. I've
Yeah,
been through it a lot. It's plantar fasciitis.
it
First thing in the
hasn't
morning
happened
like
in a
that,
while
yeah.
though, so
It used to
maybe
be
I'm doing
called
something.
first step disease because those first few steps hurt. Yeah.
Oh wow, that makes more sense. I said to somebody, I said, "Is it plantar?" They didn't think that's what it was. I'm like, okay.
No.
Um,
Here's what you want from Amazon. Cheap.
Let me
You
see.
want one of these because you can step on it
The
with your
arch.
arch
Mm-hmm.
and stretch. You can block your toes and lift your heel.
Ah,
You want
I
one
like
of these,
that.
they're cheap. I'll send
I
you a
like that.
link. But yeah, I'll get you started on some stuff because you don't want it out of control. Yeah.
Diane says fibromyalgia. Yeah, that's such a weird one because so many people have different opinions as far as doctors go. I believe it's either a real thing that you call fibromyalgia or it's a combination of
Yeah.
things that maybe and that's a lot of issues. People will take issue with like the name of something when really who cares if it's actually that or a combination of other things? Can we just figure out those? Can we just get down to the actual cause either
It's a
way?
syndrome, not a disease. It's a neurological syndrome,
Yeah.
but it is sometimes
Fibromyalgia
misdiagnosed.
is it's definitely real to the person that has it. My mama
For
had it
sure.
bad. Like you could touch her skin and it hurt. But it's a psychological thing.
It's not psychological, it's the way the brain processes it though. It is actually neurological.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's
Yeah,
it's how the
kind of
brain
connected. There's
Why
a
functions.
connection.
why did
Yeah.
why do they give antipsychotic drugs to treat it then if it's not psychological?
They don't now.
Maybe
They
somebody
do. My
is.
mother was on it up to the day she
Bad
died.
doctor then. It's a
That's
bad
weird.
doctor.
Well, it helped. So he wasn't that bad. So it did
Well,
help.
let's be
I mean,
real.
it
Most
definitely has to
medications
do
have
neurological, but I think it's a
for
lot
sure.
to do with the psychological stuff too. Like I think there's something in their brain that makes people feel these pains that wouldn't traditionally be there with the person that doesn't have that neurological or psychological thing.
Well, some of those meds will overlap as well, as far as different things, numbing nerves and things like that. I'm sure. Speaking of overlap, we have a interesting story here that says we may soon be able to eat bacon without killing pigs. That sounds
Ah,
Lab
uh,
grown.
yeah, a new startup. So this is from Vice. Take it or leave it. A new startup wants you to eat as much bacon as you want, the real stuff, not turkey bacon, not some bacon simulacrum, simulacrum, made from soy and hydrogenated oils, real bacon from a real pig, and still alive, still alive. Is that because they want us to eat up all the pigs so that they were forced to then eat the?
What?
Like, what's the deal here? So let's click on it. Let's find out what the heck they're talking about. I don't really
I don't
read
know.
Vice too much, but let's see. Mission Barnes wants you to eat as much bacon as you want, the real stuff. Blah blah blah. Mission Barnes is California based, of course. Tala, startup
Ugh.
specializing in lab grown pork. Yes, there it is, folks. Their latest creation is lab grown pork fat that
Yeah,
they
they
hope will.
approved it, and
Okay,
I'm completely opposed.
Me too.
Do
it's how
I'm
people eat and reduce environmental damage, though, you guys.
you
It
understand how
says.
they make this? Do you know how they
I
it's
hope they have
rapidly
pictures,
multiplying it's rapidly multiplying cells.
like cancer.
Do you know what
cell
that
growth.
yes. Thank you.
Right.
Yep.
I'm not eating something that has that coded into it.
It,
Pig
your
is
pigs are
already bad enough for you as it is, let alone
right.
You know,
There's
it
a
fried.
like the fact that they with some farms, they force rapid growth in the animal. The texture of the meat is bad. So like this is even
Terrible.
worse. Yeah.
oh
Chickens are really horrible for that now out of the supermarket.
oh I believe it. There's a whole thing which I don't. It's a lot of math, but when you see those posts about how many burgers are sold on a daily basis, like there's not that many animals out there in the world. It's like billions of burgers, and you
Right.
think, well, that's how can they do that? Well, I don't know for fully like what the number of actual livestock is in the world, so it's hard for me to really kind of get behind that. But it is very like questionable, like wow, man, that's a lot. McDonald's alone serves however many billions of burgers a day, and like and then you add in all the other companies that have the same similar meat. So it is very
Hmm.
sus, but it's hard for me to really get behind it because a lot of times like this, they actually advertise and they want you to know it's lab grown. So it'd be hard for me to really fully get behind the conspiracy of every.
They are required to label it, thank God.
Sure, but is the same thing in a would be at a restaurant? Like if I go to like a burger, Red Robin or something, would it be labeled on their
They'd have
menu?
to, yeah.
They
This
should,
is
yeah.
too controversial at this stage, so I don't know what it's gonna be like in the future, but right now it's too controversial. They are actually required to label it.
But how
Yeah.
could we tell if they didn't though? People that were really just going to be nefarious. How could we tell? We'd
Yeah,
have to
that's the
go and get our
question.
piece of meat tested or something. But it says here, let me read it. It says it begins with a single pig named Dawn, a Yorkshire pig in upstate New York. Workers, so from New York to California for some reason, workers take a tiny sample of her fatty tissue, essentially a biopsy, then feed it a mix of plant sugars, proteins, and vitamins inside a cultivator. Over the next 2 weeks, the fat cells grow as they would inside of an actual pig, but not in a pig. So they're trying. So it doesn't like it sounds like they're trying to not or say it's not a cancer type thing. But does a pig's fat cells grow that fast in 2 weeks? So they basically feed it. They feed the cells. It's
So I guess I would ask them, could they put a cancer cell in that same dish that they're growing it in, and would it grow?
right,
Well,
especially with the sugars.
cancer is your own cells rapidly multiplying, so they've created pork cancer.
Right.
That's really it.
Yep, yep. Essentially,
Yeah.
And I got
that's
enough
scary.
issues. I
Actually,
don't need to add that to mine.
And this is just fat
I
too. Like it's not. They're not even talking
yeah.
about meat
Yeah,
yet.
and
I'm just saying.
I mean, there's a reason that so the ethical concern is of course tied into cloning, actual cloning, which
Right.
they have not actually done yet, but that puts them a step closer. And so then where do you draw the line?
That
Humans?
is kind of funny about cloning
Y-
because we
y-
actually I never thought this as a kid. Anytime you saw like a movie or something about clones, you never once thought that they would not clone the pig, but they would only clone parts of the pig. And now they're getting to the point where like we may not see human clones. Well, conspiracy or not, you might be out there or whatever, but we may not see like us cloning ourselves. We might just clone parts of ourselves. Oh, hey, I need a new liver. I need a new lung or whatever, and that's what's going to end up happening. Now there's a lot of like there's a movie called The Island where they would rich people would make a clone of themselves with like perfect DNA so that they could take the parts. but I don't think it
Hmm.
needs to. I don't think it's going to go that far. It's going to just be
Yeah.
you have a lung growing in a in a vat, and like, oh, it's ready for pickup.
They've
Come in,
already been
come and get
working
your.
on they've already been working on growing organs, which would be
Yeah,
about the
they
only
grew in here.
useful,
Yeah.
that's like the only useful to me ethical direction to take it, to be honest. But this is like it's trying to circumvent the whole issue of do I want to eat meat or do I want to be a vegan? Well, if I'm not actually killing something, then maybe I can eat that. It's like make up your mind, you know? I mean, I don't
Hmm.
care if someone wants to be vegan. I was a vegetarian for the most part for 6 years, for about 4 to 6 years, because I was trying to figure out what was going on with my body and I got to the root of it and I healed it and I'm good. So I don't have an issue with it. It wasn't a moral compunction, it was a health decision. But this, I just animals grow in a certain way. They consume specific foods to develop the nutrition. I don't know what's in that. I don't know that it's going to actually produce the same thing. But you know, there's grass-fed pork too, by the way. They let them pasture raised, you know.
That is actually one thing I was thinking when Ty said how bad it's for you. I think it's because it's considered a dirty animal, and that's because what they'll eat. Now, would we consider a pig that's been pasture raised and like monitored its whole life? Would that still be just as dirty of an animal in general if you know what it ate? You know what I
That's
mean?
why I
Yes,
like wild boar.
yes.
What's your
Pig,
reasoning?
pig, pig, pigs are dirty because of how they get rid of the toxins in their body.
Ah,
Whether you're a religious person from a
sure.
religious view or not, have you been on a farm? Have you watched pigs secrete toxin from the back of their legs and hooves?
Mm-mm.
Do you know such things that like a pig can breathe out of its butthole? Did you know that? Not
No,
that's a little
I
off
mean I know they
subject, but
cover
yes.
themselves in mud and stuff like that, so that their pores have
No,
to be like
literally,
clogged up and. Hmm.
you can hold them underwater, and as long as their butt is out of the water, they will live. They can breathe through their butthole. That's not made up.
That sounds
But
like
they're
a
just
Snapple fact. Go ahead.
yeah, but they're just nasty creatures in general, and there's so many bad things that they do to the human body when you eat them. So many horrible things.
Hmm.
Whether you believe in religion or not, God says, don't eat the meat from the animal with the split hoof, and a
Interesting.
pig is one of those.
So any
And I
animal
think that's one of the reasons.
like a camel or I can't think of any
Any
other hoofed
animal,
animals. Any
yep,
hoofed animal.
anyone that's split up because they
But
secrete toxins
what does a
that
cow
other
foot look
animals
like?
don't.
Does a cow have a hoof?
Yep, it's split too, but it's different. And I don't really know how to explain that.
Me neither. I do like this though. It's not really a story we need to get into, but it's kind of interesting. Christmas tree deviled eggs with I think that's avocado in there or something. Deviled eggs.
Ugh.
You're not a deviled egg fan?
No, I love deviled eggs.
You just
I'm
don't
not an
think.
avocado fan.
Uh See, I don't eat a lot of avocado, but it's so healthy for us that, and I've always found that it just has a no taste to it. Like there's no like it's just a nothing taste.
Yeah,
So I don't really enjoy it, but I also would like to eat more avocado just because I know how like good the fats are and everything. Um,
yeah.
kind of
Pigs are
sucks.
nasty. Don't get me wrong, James, but I eat very little, but I do eat some, but very little pig. It just doesn't sit well in my stomach and stuff. So
I mean, I'll eat some bacon. I don't really go for. I don't like
yeah,
purposely go and cook pork otherwise for many things like sausage maybe from like for breakfast. But
yeah,
talking
that's what
about
I eat.
oh, here we go.
Stuff like that. Yeah,
Germany's stem cell pancreas eliminated diabetes permanently. Costs 40,000 in U.S. versus free. Okay, versus free, right? Free. I'm sure you don't pay it at all for within the
yeah. I
taxes or
read
anything
that,
else.
man. I'm
You
kind of
read this one?
aggravated about that.
I think
Yeah,
that's just to
I am a
aggravate you. That
diabetic.
that that part is just to aggravate you.
Yeah,
There's
but
so
I am a
many.
diabetic, and diabetic care in this country is outrageously priced.
I agree with that. Now, Trump did actually do. I know you don't like him, but I think there was something where he helped out with some of the cost. I'm not sure if it's stuck or whatever. I don't remember the details. I just remember diabetic insulin specifically. They were trying to get it to where you could buy it from Mexico or you could buy it out of
Yeah,
country where
he
it was actually cheap.
he was trying to cap the price, but so didn't Biden. So I mean,
But our
it
the
hasn't
medical industry
changed.
runs the show, huh? You think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
there's
hasn't
something.
changed as of yet.
I know,
This one pin, which lasts me a couple weeks of insulin, which by the way is animal insulin, probably part pig.
right?
uh, yeah, I mean just facts. But this one pin is like $140.
See, that is messed up. Yeah, I think you can get it for like pennies on the dollar down in Mexico. Got a few ABC seeds, James? Okay. Germany researchers successfully cured type 1 diabetes in patients by implanting lab grown pancreatic cells. See, I
Here we
know that
go.
they have done some I know that they have done some things with our own stem cells, which I think is awesome, but this is a little bit different. This is a lab grown pancreatic cell, which I don't know if that is the same as a stem cell from your own body. I don't know. It kind of sounds a little bit different. Derived from the I just need to read a few more words. Derived from the patient's own stem cells, the new cells produce insulin naturally. Now, see, I saw this happening years before this. I know that they've been working with stem cells in getting your pancreas to make insulin again. So Ty, I think there's more hope than just this, and thinking I got to pay $40,000. There are stem cell institutes in America, which again, you got to watch enough Joe Rogan to hear where they are, I guess, because he talks about them all the time. But yeah, I think someone like you and anybody that has an issue which has been known to be cured by it, not officially, but anecdotally, you know what I mean? At least to look into it, because I think a shot of stem cells is like $2,000 to $4,000, which isn't nothing. It's not, but it ain't $40,000 either, you know. So I think
Yeah.
there's something in between there that can be helpful to people such as yourself.
Well,
We
don't get
need
me
that.
wrong. That insulin hasn't been touched in around 6 months.
Oh,
As
that's
of
good.
right now, I'm free of insulin and almost free of the metformin as well. But I've done this with what I think Tala might appreciate with natural medicines. So one of them that I've used and continually, I'm almost out. So I got to either buy or wait for spring. But it is dandelions. Dandelions have huge medicinal benefits, including they're a diuretic, and they help lower your blood sugar. And if used properly along with other stuff, natural, you don't have to take these lab made medicines and you can
Right.
get better.
I
And
mean,
I am
I guess
getting better.
there are what is it type? Is it type two? That's like much like you don't make
Mhm.
any insulin at all. Is it type two? Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I am.
so listen to
The
this. I don't know if
other,
they're
yeah.
trying
Yeah,
to rile people up.
insulin's a bad choice for type 2, but they will push you that direction.
Hmm.
Yep. Honestly, the biggest change that I've made, and guys, I had an A1C of 10.5. My A1C as of 2 months ago was 5.5. That's a normal person's A1C, and I was highly diabetic, insulin dependent. So, but the main thing is you are what you eat, guys.
Hmm.
You are what you eat, period. Your body is going to respond to what you eat, and that includes
So
diabetes. I sat
listen to
there and
this.
ate
They,
tons of candy and snacks and
yeah,
sodas and stuff for years and years and
yeah, it's
years
a big problem.
and got to 320 pounds from this
Oh
stuff.
wow,
You expect, I mean, I don't weigh that now. I weigh 240 now, but
you're a tall
you
guy though,
expect your
so
body don't respond to that, and it does in a bad way.
So here's where they want to like inject politics into this without actually giving you all the information. It says, and this is from It's Science on Facebook. Here's the inequity. In Germany, this treatment is covered by national health insurance at zero cost to the patient. That is
Yep.
false. If you live in Germany, you are paying taxes. Like that is not true. Um, in the United States, the same procedure costs 40 to 65,000 and is labeled experimental. Well, it is still experimental. That part I hate to stick up for any kind of anything insurance or medical in the United States, but I kind of understand where they're coming from there because you got to wait until it's been so many now again we could also look at their contradiction with things like warp speed and and vaccines, but that's a different issue. But my point is, like, at least in that position, I feel like, yes, I would hesitate as an insurance company to pay for something that just came out like this. But they are hesitating on all stem cell type things, which leads me to believe it's more nefarious than them just trying to be good guys and say, well, we got to wait until it's more tried and true, because there's so many things with stem cells that are being ignored by insurance and doctors and the medical industry in general. So don't get me started on that. I guess we'll go to the next topic. Actually, first we got to do the number spin real quick. But yeah, I mean, stem cells I think have huge implications to what could be done in the future. But I know it's not for everybody and it doesn't work every time or anything like that. But I think that's the way to go. It's a lot cheaper than invasive surgeries in so many different situations. I don't think it'll stop me from having surgery. I have to have surgery coming up. I just had a CAT scan Monday, and I'm a little worried about it because it sounds so crazy. But they're going to go through my neck and through the main artery, all the way down through my body and into my groin area, we'll say, and place these little titanium stents in my veins and just this stuff that doesn't
Yeah.
sounds crazy.
I knew what you would said as soon as you said they're going to go through your neck. They did it to my dad just like that too. It is sounds crazy, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds scary, but at the same time, they have this little scope with the camera, and they can just kind of drive through your veins like they're on a highway.
Hmm. You
Okay,
got
Leslie,
blockage.
I just added you on the
It,
wheel there, Leslie, number 14. Go ahead, Ty.
you got blockage.
I have varicoceles and hydroceles.
Yeah.
I think that's
Your
the
veins.
terms. Yeah, I think those are the
Yeah.
terms. All right, good luck,
Well,
guys.
that's
This
good.
is a spin I do for my subscribers weekly. You get 4 chances to win if you go on the indoorfarmer.locals.com, sign up for $2 a month, and you can get on this wheel. These are Indoor Farmer coupons, which can be used in any one of my sponsors. So any of the sponsors and myself, I have a bunch of merch you can purchase with this. You can also purchase gift cards from any of the sponsors. So they're very valuable. You can be used for a lot of things. They can also be used for game night tickets. They can be used for a basic member to move up to the pro membership just for one game night to get on the pro wheel where all the bigger prizes are. And it also is used for shipping now. I just want to make sure I list all the things. Anytime I ship something physically to you, I will be taking an Indoor Farmer coupon. If you don't have any coupons, that means you probably haven't engaged at all, because I give them out like candy. You just have to, collect a few up, and then you've got plenty. Number three. All right. Who was number 3? Ta-da. Okay, Miss Rose. Congrats, Rose, and Happy New Year. All right, Tala. Let's see what else we got here. Did you have any? I could go back to your page too. I don't think I saw another one at the top there, but what's this here? Did you know you can freeze greens like kale, spinach, Swiss chard, and even beet tops? This is my favorite way to preserve them and use them in soups all winter long. We can
You
watch this quick
can,
little video, I
but I
guess.
don't eat kale.
Did you know you
And
can freeze greens like kale,
I
spinach,
don't think I've
Swiss
ever
chard,
had
and
kale,
even beet tops?
to be honest.
This is my favorite way to preserve them for using in soups all winter long. I remove the big center rib and then always give them a quick steam blanch
That
so they
big
wilt
rib,
down and take up less space.
that center rib is important because I've been eating a lot of different greens, like my broccoli and the kohlrabi greens and stuff. And if you get too much of a big hunk of that stem, man, it gets bitter and it's hard, a little bit harder.
yeah,
And
It
and
also helps.
kale is especially bad for that, and I tried to like it when I thought that it was a good idea, and I hate kale. I just hate it. But I understand better now why, because I've done enough study about anti-nutrients. I wouldn't touch it now.
really, is there anything that you could point to as far as that goes?
So, anti-nutrients are gonna put a bigger strain on your system, just like we were talking about with folic acid versus
Hmm.
folate. And the reason that we nixtamalize corn to make masa is because it not only softens it, but it makes the nutrients more bioavailable and it reduces the anti-nutrients, which are going to put a strain on your system. Kale is one of those vegetables, a lot of them are, that's really loaded with anti-nutrients. So, yeah, I mean, you could cook it, I can tolerate it, but there's no reason to. There's much
Mm,
better sources of what I need.
right. And this is Whole Fed Homestead. This the video comes from. But aside from kale, though, the other greens that she mentioned, looks like there's a whole process. She steams them.
Yeah.
Um,
Spinach and collard I like. They too have a little bit of anti-nutrients, so yeah, cooking them is
Hmm.
a good
I
idea.
know
Yeah.
spinach did because I found out if you could, if you could somehow fit 5 pounds of spinach in your stomach, you could die. Not because your stomach is too big, but because spinach actually has a toxin in it that I guess almost every plant has a trace amount of toxin because plants are chemists. Plants create chemicals because they can't get up and walk around like us and defend ourselves. So they will ward off all sorts of little insects by
Correct.
becoming chemists, and I know spinach is one of those things. Oh, this is
Yeah.
pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited about this. It's from Our Blue Planet. We could search for it. I'm sure the picture is not correct. I'm sure that's an AI picture, but it
Wow.
says moss survived space. Scientists placed samples of Psychometremium, uh, patens, a common moss species, outside the International Space Station for 9 months, exposing them to radiation, freezing temperatures, intense UV light, and the vacuum of space. Then they brought them back to Earth. Over 80% of the spores survived. Many began reproducing immediately after returning. The experiment carried out in 2022 in Japan's Kobe module tested of moss tissue, three types of moss tissue, and different at different reproductive stages. Very interesting. I don't think I'm going to
Yep,
read
I read
I
the
that
whole
one
love
thing.
too.
moss. It's fascinating.
It
It's
has a lot of
definitely good for
properties
my
here.
soil.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got
Yeah.
a lot of good properties here in on Earth. They were using. I remember this invention that they started. I don't know if they really took off, but they put it over or like an overpass. They would
So
have
deers and
these.
animals could go across.
Well, no, that's cool too. But no, this is actually they would have pipes with moss in water, floating in water, and being circulated nonstop, being circulated through these pipes around an overpass. And I think the pipes may have had like sun openings or whatever. But the point is, what was happening is it was reducing the CO2 in the area by
Oh,
absorbing a ton of it from the cars, which now we kind of know that's not really necessary because we can use it for things like graphene and stuff like that. We don't really need to just senselessly get it absorbed back up. We could grow more trees. We could do other things if we want to actually reduce the carbon. So that idea, I think, maybe probably didn't take off, but they were just like, here, we could take moss and circulate moss around areas of high like pollution, and it will absorb a lot of that back in. So interesting.
sure will. So will marijuana, by the way.
Yeah, marijuana will remediate the soil too. It pulls out.
It even takes radiation and nuclear
Mhm.
waste out of the soil, and yeah, it's great.
Peel plate review. Peel plate.
Using a disposable
This is from Peelable Dinnerware. This is interesting. What do you think of
plate does
this?
not make you lazy. If anything, these peelable plates are going to make
Yeah.
life even
Peelable plate.
easier than just a regular paper plate, especially now that we're
Just a
going into
stack of
camping and
paper.
hunting season. You can
I
burn
think
or they're one.
absolutely.
Each plate has 15 peels and you get two
Wait,
plates. They can hold up to
Huh?
basic cutting, but not like with a really
You like it or
serrated
I
knife.
no?
see.
It holds up to
I've
greens,
Yeah.
seen this before,
salads,
but I never
biscuits,
really
and just
watched it. Like it was something I
tacos
was
for the
scrolled
fall
through.
season. And for those
But
last barbecues that we're going to be squeezing in
you
this
would have
year,
to eat on top of all the other plates.
Is it intended for camping?
It's something
She did mention things like that.
Because
Now
because
I wouldn't. You couldn't use a fork or a knife on it.
well, but
right, or
if
you
any
couldn't pick it
food
up with
odor
something big heavy on it probably either.
gets through,
Oh yeah, yeah. It must be like a parchment paper, but it's also brown, which I
Yeah.
like. So there's no bleach or anything, but burn it in the
I
fire.
It-
camp in bear country, so I'm always thinking about that stuff.
That's why I think that's why they say burn it in the fire.
Yeah, but like I
Without
said, I mean,
being,
if anything gets through that,
then the bottom would still smell. Yeah, it must be a parchment paper or something that would be
that's
thick
what it
enough,
looks
or
like.
maybe
Waxed.
not.
It would have to
Maybe
be so that liquid didn't go through it.
to
But
your
that's
point,
because
Tala, you might take a couple layers if it still has a
you
smell
would
to
just
it.
have to
I
eat
still
right on
wouldn't do
top
it.
of it. Think
I
about
still
trying to
wouldn't do
take
it.
that plate full of a deer steak or something.
Uh huh.
It would be, it's flimsy. How could you do that? You'd have to eat on top of everything and then peel it off when you're done.
It
Wouldn't that be a
probably
People
neat
is
also
thought?
is
don't.
thicker at first, but then when you get down to that bottom this bottom
Yeah.
few, you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
People also don't understand how permeating food odors
Mm-hmm.
are. Like we had this conversation when
hmm
we were at Curry Village.
Curry.
I'm looking around going, the bear box by we got one of the cabin tents because I had a group, my team for Half Dome. I'm looking at this little bitty bear box and I'm like, they're saying you can't leave anything in your car at all. I said, there's my brother, my buddy Jay, and my nephew, and my friend Lisa. There's 5 of us. All our stuff is not going in that bear box. And my brother made the comment. He said, people don't understand. You could have a gum wrapper in your car or your can of deodorant that has just a little mist on the outside. Your whole car smells like a French fry if you went to
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's at any point. Okay. So in reality, they're covering themselves with that. Like if a bear breaks into your car, we're probably going to fine you,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't happen often in Yosemite Valley at this point, so but I would not
That's where
use
you
that.
live, Tala?
Huh?
That's where you live, Yosemite Valley?
Oh, no, no. No, I live in San Bernardino.
Oh, you're in
I
California. Yeah, I
summited
said that earlier.
yeah, I summited Half Dome in 2019, so
That's a nice, beautiful place, though. Beautiful
yeah.
area.
I'm going back. I don't know if it's gonna happen next year. I'm in physical therapy. I got a lot of recovery and then training to do again, but we are going back. I'm gonna hike it again, so
Nice.
So check this out, you guys. It's from Holmes on Facebook. A remarkable transformation is taking place in Arkansas, where a school district has implemented a solution that benefits both the environment and the economy. By installing 1,400 solar panels, this district turned a substantial deficit into a $1.8 million surplus. The efficiency of solar power not only offsets expenses but also generates new funds, which were used to improve teacher salaries. Oh, this is a brilliant example of how an innovative approach to energy can yield unexpected rewards. Now,
Awesome.
while I like it, I still wonder if they added the over, like, see if this looks like a real picture. I'm not 100% sure, but the way that they put solar panels on the walkway and not the building kind of makes me think that they built a new structure for the solar panels, which might have been easier in the long run. I don't know the engineering behind it, maybe easier for that, but to me, I think it's a good idea to use existing structures everywhere, but then you'd have the problem with somebody was saying to put them like all over every Target or something like that, every department store. The store itself has to pay for those. We can't, as the government can't say, okay, we're going to make free energy for everybody by putting solar panels on your building, and then we as the taxpayers have to then pay for it to be upkept. So that was my it was a different post that I saw before where people were talking about this. This makes more sense to me because the school is paying for it, and it's the school is the one benefiting from it, and that's great. But I still feel like why not? Why aren't they all over the buildings too? What's this? Doesn't
I
make
mean, they're
sense.
starting to be. There's a lot of people, believe it or not, that are in opposition of solar power, which I don't understand why.
I
Let
don't
me give
love
you an
it.
example. I have one friend, William, here in this town, and we live right down the street from Ameren. They've got a coal plant right down the street, literally from my house, and this whole town pretty much. But that coal plant pretty much supplies power to most of central Illinois in this area that I'm on here along the river. And they charge people out the yin yang for it.
Mhm.
Okay. My buddy and his wife got enough money together that they bought the Tesla stuff and got it all put on all the solar panels, the Tesla big unit that goes on the side of the house, all that stuff. They now, for the last 2 years, having not only not paid one little iota of a power bill, the power company is paying them for some of their power.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the badness in that?
It doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on where you
Well, it
are.
is for them. Well, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah, I
I'm
know.
sure.
For
Yeah.
some people it
They
does. That's why I say
force
it
you in
doesn't
different
always.
situations. Yeah,
There are
certain places.
certain regions they've made it they don't wanna pay you for it. They've made it a problem. And I don't know, my state is probably one of them, because
Oh
they wanna
yeah.
make it more difficult.
They force you in the
No.
grid. For where I'm at,
No.
Ty, they would have told me.
Yeah.
The guy was telling me that first of all, I have to remove a big tree if I want solar, and he was telling me
Hmm.
that basically it's not going to make my bill zero no matter how much solar I put on. It basically just it makes my bill the same all year long. And it would have been like $150, which is cheaper, but they wouldn't they wouldn't let you actually be independent with it because you're in the grid. So to actually
Wait a
do
minute.
that, you have to
Who
be
wouldn't
off
let you?
grid. The locals, my city won't let
The
You have
you
to
the
be
understand
off
that we
grid.
government.
are you have to
Now I
understand
know
that
that there's.
we are regulated by these agencies. For example, in the city of San Bernardino, I do not have the choice of, I wanna take my trash somewhere on my own. I am required by law to pay Burtec. I can't get anything but Burtec. I have to pay them.
I
Contract.
understand this, and it's similar here. I mean, like Waylon said, in his area, and then certain cities will throw down certain ordinances or whatever else that won't allow you to do certain things on your property.
Have chickens or have
Yeah, right,
pigs or
right,
whatever.
right, right. Right. But, I, for one, think solar power should be a right. And I guess I could see how some people, it isn't making no difference. But I know two people, not just the one here in town, but I know two people that actually get paid because of the extra power they produce from the power company. And
Yeah, I
then that
think that
power
makes
company
sense. It should be
resells that power
right.
to another customer at an increased percentage. I don't know,
Yeah.
people don't realize that, but they increase the percentage because they had to outsource the power. So when
Mm,
they resell it back to another customer, the power you produced, they
they
increase
make
the
something
amount
on
they
it. Yeah.
pay. That's
Well,
correct.
I
So
was I looked into it enough to know that if you want to be off grid, you got to be in not just a homestead, but you got to be in you got to have land where it's away from the city, like right away from the heart of town. I guess is where a lot of times they have problems with it. Now I'll give you
yeah.
another like my main reason for looking at it negatively, Ty, is that the solar panels now they have actually made some I guess upgrades or new discoveries with solar, like where you can get it at nighttime and stuff. But the solar panels, typically as they are, they get so hot and they actually kill a lot of birds. The same thing goes
Oh.
with, yeah, they really do. The birds will land on it and literally explode. I've seen the
Okay,
videos.
I've
wait, wait,
seen
wait,
Ty.
wait,
I
wait,
have seen
wait.
I have
What?
seen flocks of birds on top of solar panels just sitting there in the middle of these fields out here in the country.
Tala,
None of
Not
them
solar panels.
exploded.
that's not solar panels.
Not solar panels. That place out in the desert was not solar panels. That was a whole different type of device.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, a different solar
So
device using heat.
that's what people are talking about, that we had like a solar farm
Hmm.
out here in our desert, and
We
it's
have lots
not
of them.
solar panels like that. Yeah,
Maybe
that
I'm
was a whole
wrong.
different.
Let me ask Grok, see what Grok says. Do
We have lots
Is
solar
it
of them. Like
mirrors?
literally 15 minutes down the road here on 67 is one of the biggest ones in the world. They're still building it,
what
but
about
it's acres
windmills?
upon
Have you
acres
heard that
of it.
with windmills? A lot of birds die from.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
come on,
I don't know if it's true.
come
I
on,
guess
Waylon.
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure
that
what
wind
is
Ty.
such
turbines, the
crap.
accurate
Way
turbines,
more,
yeah.
Track birds do though.
way more birds die from pollution that comes from cars and trucks, but
Actually, the
nobody's going to
cars and
talk
trucks
about those
themselves.
numbers.
Yeah, the cars and trucks kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Or yeah,
Track
just
birds have
that.
less
That
effect, but
check those statistics. See if more birds die from cars and trucks hitting them than windmills to show how
maybe.
ridiculous that argument is.
Let me just see what it says here. Solar U.S. estimates for all solar facilities. Um, It says 37,800 to 138,600 bird deaths annually from collisions, predators after standing or stranding, or flux burns. Wait, what?
Flux birds,
Predation?
it's light birds.
Well, the
With
one I
some
was
studies
talking
suggesting
about
300,000. Okay.
the one I was
Okay.
talking about is a solar farm called Ivanpah. I don't know, Ivanpah. So they were shutting that one down. It's in the Mojave. Um,
Well, right here, you guys.
and
This
it's going to
this
cease operations in 2026. So it's a different. It's photovoltaic solar. If you want to look up what that is, but it's
that's what
solar
it says
thermal
here.
power. Yeah,
The typical photovoltaic right here, the most common type, it says. So here, I
and
mean,
it's blinding.
this contradicts what I thought. It says rooftop solar panels pose negligible risk. It was talking about like the big solar farms up here with
Yeah,
early reports estimate up to 6,000 bird deaths per year at Ivanpah. Must be a
that one.
certain. That's the one. Okay, that's
Yeah,
not quite the same as what I meant solar panel wise.
Hey, Sir Sivo.
This is concentrated solar power, which is different. A tower,
yeah.
like there's other ways to use like the heat from the sun.
And as of
Um,
Yeah.
this coming year, that place is gone because it
hmm,
was useless. They should have never built it.
Well,
interesting. So
I'm
they're
glad I
counting
live
it.
in Illinois.
Yeah.
You can almost get solar power if you want. You can pretty much get it for free. You can get it put on your house and installed in your house. There's a million Illinois programs that'll help pay for it as well. Um,
There's also credits that you get as a solar owner
yeah,
that they were telling me that I could get these credits because they're just floating out there. This guy was telling me
yep,
that you can just pick up these credits and get your bill cheaper without ever actually getting solar, which is interesting but also
The one thing
sounds
you
shady.
gotta the one thing you gotta watch out for, because like we get the knock on the door all the time, and
Mhm.
yep,
the key phrase is you can get this installed with nothing up front. Watch out for those words. So you want to know what
Y-
contract they're talking about. Is it ever going to cost me? Are you going to maintain it? How long are you going to maintain it?
exactly.
After you're done maintaining it, if something breaks, then what do I do? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, all those are important questions. And again, fortunately, Illinois has a pretty good program going. One thing this governor we have did right, environmental wise, he's making sure we've got all kinds of new windmills, constructions going on, and solar farms, and just whatever else. And then there's a lot of Illinois residents who privately are doing it as well because they provide so many different programs that help you pay for it. But you're right. You definitely, because there's a lot of shady characters that's trying to run a business themselves, shady or not, that they're not going to provide. They may come and install something, but then if it breaks, like you said, you don't get it fixed. There's all different
And in
types of
my
reasons
state,
that it's cheap.
I don't trust when they say government incentives. I don't trust that because there are sometimes those incentives end up being something that you will pay back. You gotta watch
Right.
out. You gotta know
And
all
all
Yeah,
the
I
these
don't
little
want
details.
to.
middlemen in there
Yeah,
that want to have their
yeah.
say and
Well,
everything.
that's
Hey,
why. That's why because their contracts are going to guarantee they get part of that money. But the Illinois government does have real incentives, and I don't quote me on the percentages, but they
Yeah,
match so much percentage of what you put into it. Basically, is their incentives.
that's how it should
So
be done. Yeah.
yeah, and they also have a same thing for abandoned homes. Like you
Oh,
can
yeah.
go and buy an abandoned home for $100 from the government, but then if you put in 10,000, the government might put in five or whatever the percentages are, But they'll help you reestablish a home as well.
they want you to be in the grid too. That's another thing is that they want because of our crumbling electrical grid in the country. They want more
Hmm.
houses to be little batteries in the system and in the grid. And I guess that makes sense, but
I
if you
believe that's how
want
it's going
that,
to
then
be in the future.
yeah, no, I don't see why not. And actually, I would like to see more houses be independent or be off grid, even being near each other. But usually off grid is like you got to be out in like the country, big land or whatever. But I could
Some
see a
places they
town.
won't let you.
Right. I could see a town being made. Like, what if okay, imagine, the fantasy land here. I build or I not build, I buy a town, like a ghost town, right? And we make every town independent off grid or every house in the town an off-grid building of some kind somehow. Like
Yeah,
I don't know how that would work, but it'd be kind of an interesting idea.
easy, easy. Just build roofs with solar panels, pretty
Yeah,
much.
well, but you'd have to have have to be all on well water, so the electricity and water is really the only two main things. Guys, if you haven't noticed my comment there, if you want to get on the door prize wheel, I'm going to start working on it while we look at maybe another story or two. I see you all
Well,
coming in from the Facebook and the Rumble. You're welcome to do it on the YouTube also. But we'll back to the show. But
my
I do
water is
have a
Yeah,
free,
couple.
they
by the
don't
way, Waylon.
like a lot of the
Yeah.
areas in my
Yeah, I
state,
don't pay water.
they don't let you because they want they want the money for, the utilities and
Hmm.
stuff that they disallowed for like an Earthship home, which we had
Right.
talked about at one point.
Love that
Earthship is a
idea.
great
Yeah.
setup, you
And
know?
you have to get permits, I'm sure, to be able to do it and everything. That's why I'd go to
Well,
like Utah or something.
like the place we had in Banning, it originally actually had a cesspool. So you can't build new cesspools. That was a very old house. They require a septic tank or that you're going to hook up to the city, which is phenomenally expensive and you will pay for it. So the owner of the house said, we'll put in a septic tank. And they hired an idiot who apparently was not licensed for that city. So he got partway into the job and had to stop. And I'm like, my yard
Hmm.
looks like the set of Starship Troopers. Are you serious? It was like a month of this open trench. And I'm like, what do you think I'm going to do? You think I'm not going to use my facilities? You think I'm driving to a gas station? So like it's on you. You better get it fixed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
You start keeping the information and watching, like notating the time and everything, and then eventually you'd have enough to actually, take legal action on something like that. But
Hmm.
I
um,
am today, I would do it. But I was in no position. I was very, very, very disabled
Most
at the time.
Yeah,
It's where I
I
lived
don't
when
pay
I
for
could
water
walk.
here.
I mean, I'm sure it's in the taxes. I guess I'd have to assume that, but
Yes.
maybe not. So here's another one here. Nature Resilience School is from on Facebook, and he's talking about different kinds
Wait,
of trees that tell us information. Go ahead, Ty.
I was just going to say something to the current subject. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
pay for water. When me and my dad built this house, we dug two 26-foot sand points,
Oh,
if you know what
that's why
that
you don't pay
is.
for the water. Okay,
Right. So the water
nice.
to this house, now I do have to pay for the filter because
Hmm.
it's very calcium and, lime deposits
Do
come
you use
through. But
a water softener or no?
Our water's
yeah,
like that here, and we're on
there's
city.
there's a whole filter. Yeah, I know. Well, technically speaking, the city water is the same because you know what? The city for this little town on the river I live in draws their water from Sandpoint too. So they just don't filter it as well as my house does, and they charge people for
Nice.
it.
James
So
says my old house in Vermont didn't have a septic. It had a pipe under the road that ran across to toward a small river. Wow, that's crazy. Now, the
Wow.
reason I read that because I just got a notice. My house has a pipe that every year I have to have a company come out and dig through the pipe because of all these roots and stuff that clog up my house. Well, that
Oh,
pipe is
uh,
made of ceramic or clay or whatever, and it's like it's an old pipe, and so now I got a notice because I'm pretty sure the pipe is broken enough inside there that the city is telling me I'm going to have to pay for it. I'm looking at 10 grand or more to have that dug up and replaced. I'm not. It's not looking very fun, but that's just a new development in
oh my
my
god.
house. Yeah. For
Well,
right now.
we just got through replacing that water heater, I think, and that was because the hard water destroyed the old one. That's 2.
Mm,
And I was like, We're done. We're going tankless, and we're
yeah.
installing a filter. That's it."
right.
Tankless is cool for
I'm
a lot of
private.
reasons. We could talk about that
Yeah.
sometime for sure.
It's a lot better. There's a learning curve. It's a big adjustment to learning how to adjust the temperature on your water. It is different. And even with a fairly decent model, you've now greatly reduced your water pressure. 2 people turn on the hot water, you struggle. But
Mm,
it's usually just me here 5 days a week, so it's working okay. And even with the conversion, which cost us another 300 for everything we had to,
Oof.
the pipes and stuff that we had to
Right.
fix, and even with that, it was less than what another water heater with a big tank would, and I'm tired
Mhm.
of having to move big tanks
Right.
out of the garage. I'm done.
I still have my
This
old one in the
is on the wall.
in the basement over here. I'm like, I could use it for
Yeah,
something. I could scrap it, but I'm probably never gonna move the damn thing.
I have
Yeah.
2,
Make an
2 in
oven
the
out of
yard.
it.
I gotta do a large item
Yeah.
pickup. Yeah.
You know what I had fantasized about it? I want to take the tank out of it, and I want to have a setup outside to where I can burn scrap materials like yard waste and stuff, and I want to boil
Yeah.
water in this tank, and I want to set up a cool contraption where the steam goes up a pipe and then collects in a big tank that's high up like off my garage or something, and then I can have what? I have a battery, I have water I can turn on every so often for hydroelectricity if I need it. That's kind of like a whole fantasy I have one day, but I don't think I'll.
If
I
you're
don't know when I'll get
ambitious,
it.
I think there's copper in them.
That too. Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
think about that. Now, speaking of trace minerals, this guy actually is interesting. He says sycamore, beech, and cedar trees will tell you information about the land under your feet. And most people just walk by
Sure
without even
will.
knowing this. So let's see what he has to say.
Most people don't even know what this means. Trees sometimes just aren't trees. They actually tell a story. Take this sycamore, for example. The white patchy bark is a big indicator, and sycamores almost always grow near water. If you see a sycamore,
Huh.
even if you can't find the stream, it's probably close. And
Smart.
then you have a cedar. Cedars often get started as pioneer species to hold ground where trees have been cut down. They grow on dry ground and thin and rocky soil, tough land. If a hillside is full of cedar, the ground is struggling to hold water. And these beech trees, they tell an entirely different story. Beeches like to congregate in thick, healthy soil, so you'll find them down here instead of on the ridgetops. Once you learn these things, the woods stop being random and the land starts talking to you because the best classroom has no walls. Join me, Craig Cottle at Nature Blind School for online and in-person courses, and I'll see you there.
Nice.
I
Thanks,
agree
Greg.
with him mostly.
Interesting.
All except for the cedar dries and usually grows in dry and arid lands because there's cedar all along this river as an example of how that's not true.
It might have to do
Yeah,
with the water table.
it's a majorly
Tala.
important tree in my tribe, and it's all over eastern Oklahoma, which is a lot of rivers and lakes and stuff. So that was kind of an odd take. It said it's struggling to hold on to water, which is not exactly the same thing as it being arid, but yeah,
Right.
it grows in a lot of different conditions. The
If
one
it's on a
here, the
hill, I could
desert,
see that.
is look for elder. If you got elder bushes, then they grow along the waterways. There's water. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's good to know for desert areas for sure. This guy doesn't seem like he's hurting for water up here in the winter with the snow everywhere, but you never know. We got time for one more here. Let's see. A study published in October 1st, 2025, the journal Nature found that a diet high in the amino acids cysteine can help the gut repair itself after damage. The research was led by Feng Tao Chai and senior scientist Almer H. Yilmaz at MIT. Of course, we can search this if we want to. Healthy Harbor is where we're reading this from here. In experiments on mice, the team showed that eating more cysteine helped. Am I saying that right? Cysteine helped the small
Yep.
intestine regrow its lining after radiation injury, which is the kind of damage often caused by cancer treatments. Interesting. The researchers discovered that. See, that's why they allow cannabis for cancer, because they want you to have that stimulated appetite.
Yeah.
So this might actually
Eggs
eggs.
have a lot of cysteine in it. That's why when you let an egg sit for a while and it starts to smell all sulfurish
Mm-hmm.
and rotten, yeah, that's why.
That's what that is. Okay.
Mhm.
I actually that brings up an interesting one. So, in like the topic of supplements earlier, one of the ones
Mm-hmm.
I was holding up is the berberine. This helps with the blood sugar issues, but eggs. Okay, so I can eat 1 or 2 eggs, 3. I can eat 1 egg and some bacon, or 1 egg and steak, 2 eggs with that meat, and I'm not
Too
feeling
much.
right. And it's not just the quality of the eggs. It's not just, I eat pasture raised normally, but I learned something when I found out that I was hypermobile, this whole complex of issues and not methylating things correctly. TMG and molybdenum, very, very important. So that helps me clear the sulfur from my system because I'm not methylating things correctly. So I think sometimes people assume that they are intolerant of something or allergic to eggs, and maybe they're not. Because I was a little concerned. I have a friend who's allergic to egg white, so
Ooh,
she has to separate and just eat yolks.
that sucks.
But
Hmm.
as it turns out for me, this solved the problem. It's that I can't handle an overload of sulfur. Isn't that weird?
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
you'd think the protein would be helpful, like for your, to hold things together that are with the hypermobility. But yeah, interesting.
And
As a
I do need the
diabetic,
nutrition. Yeah,
I eat a lot of eggs
yeah.
because they have absolutely no carbohydrates, so it doesn't raise my blood sugar at all.
You ever
I'm
eat them over
basically
soft?
ketovore.
Every
I'm
way,
not
I eat them
carnivore.
in every way.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Tal.
I'm not a carnivore, but I'm basically
Uh,
what they call ketovore because I do eat, like blueberries, occasional bananas, things like that. So ketovore is kind of where I land. And so
mm,
like I eat a lot of steak at this point, which is weird because if you knew me in 2019, I had quit all red meat, but it
hmm
was necessary at the time. So
Red
now
meat gets a
people are
bad
like, "Wait,
rap.
you're eating meat again?" Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
my
was
It's
gonna
another
ask you
thing
sister-in-law.
I
that.
could eat.
I was gonna ask you
It's
that
another.
with the autoimmune issues because going straight carnivore has been shown to like reverse autoimmune problems, like a ton of them. I don't know if it's
Debatable,
everyone.
debatable. So like
Yeah,
for a long
it
time
makes
it was
mine worse.
popular. Yeah,
Uh,
My
for a long time it was
psoriasis.
popular to be vegetarian or vegan to deal with autoimmune issues, and I wasn't inclined to go that direction. The reason I did eventually was because of the mentor that I had who's Russian, and
mhm,
he primarily eats vegetarian. I'm glad that he convinced me to do it at the time because to just keep cramming meat into my stomach at the time wasn't working. I had leaky
mhm.
gut syndrome, I didn't know it.
Oh,
Um, so it's it may seem like it's fixing something for a while, but literally, I sat down right here one day with one of my vegetarian sausages, cut it up, took a bite, and went, and I spit it out. I'm all, oof. Like my body just said, no, we're done with that. I was all,
Right.
okay, that's no longer appealing. What's going on? Well, my body let me know, hey, we're done with the vegetarian stuff. And so I'm doing okay with it now. But this whole thing of go carnivore, it fixes everything.
I mean, I wouldn't
Let's
say it
talk
like
about
that, but
individual
yeah, I do have
genetics.
high hopes for it. That's for sure.
I
Yeah,
don't agree with that, but I can say again, red meats like steak have no carbohydrates. So as a
yeah,
diabetic, it's something I can eat as much as I want of.
yeah.
As an example, if I decide to go like healthy, like a lot of people consider fruits and vegetables healthy, fruits are horrible for me because they have a lot of sugar that my pancreas cannot process and they send my blood sugar way high.
Mm,
You drink a
It all
glass of
depends
orange juice
on
in the morning thinking it's a
oh,
good
yeah.
thing for you, and
hmm
it's horrible for me.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of
there's no
sugar.
fiber.
Well, look at
Yeah.
So,
this,
I mean,
Tala. It does say yogurt. It says,
juice is a no-no. Um, and it depends on, like it depends on where you're at. Like, if you're trying like, my brother is off of all his meds. He's managed his diabetes that way, but it's a delicate
I'm
balance.
almost there. I'm
So you
almost
gotta
there.
pick, like, which fruits and with what. So you get that
Yeah,
fiber
well,
in there,
mhm,
moderation, you're
it's
fine.
the key is moderation. That's it.
Yeah.
A diabetic can actually eat whatever he wants. If he wants a piece of cake, he can eat that, but don't eat the whole piece of cake. Just eat a little quarter piece.
mm,
It's about moderation. That's how I've
So
gotten off of
supposedly it's
insulin.
beneficial, but long term, it can be dangerous. I know someone
Mhm.
who flat died, okay, on the Atkins diet. And I
mm,
know someone else who's autoimmune who damaged her kidneys because she was doing ketosis with no breaks. You gotta take
right.
breaks. So
Yep.
5 days a
I
week for
can't
Yep.
me.
I can't live without some carbs. Like I probably should do another carnivore diet. I did it like 3 weeks and it felt great. For me, maybe it would be okay long term, but I just like this other stuff. But look at this
Long
though.
term is bad.
I want to
Just a
point out
one
what
day
the
break.
yeah, for sure. And like this says, just to give you guys some contrast with the picture, it says includes egg yolks, chicken, turkey, and then it says yogurt, which is, that's a bit different. And then grass-fed beef and garlic may promote regeneration of the intestinal lining, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. I'm sure there's other things on that list, but I thought it was interesting how it listed mostly meats, but then throws yogurt in there. Yogurt
Well, no,
being so good for us in a lot of ways. Go
yogurt
ahead.
is good. Yeah, but you
It's a
not
Probiotics.
probiotic.
no play. Don't buy something that's full of sugar. Go get
Right.
Greek or Bulgarian yogurt and throw a handful of blueberries in it. Plain
Yeah.
yogurt.
At the very
That's the
least,
problem.
Greek yogurt.
Thinking that you're getting yogurt, but really you're getting those top brands with lots of sugar and everything. Or maybe how
Yeah,
about we
those
just say this? Read the label. I mean, I don't want to demonize any brands that might be decent out there, but read the label, and that's all you can really do.
Right.
plain yogurt, a little bit of fruit. Problem solved.
Oh, is this more
I don't
scromiting?
buy
Oh,
sugar anymore.
I don't know if we want to talk about this again because we've beat it a few times, but exclusive: the real horrors of scromiting weed disorder, plaguing ERs from dwindling to 87 pounds to nonstop puking for a week. So they have a person as a picture of a person who knows. Community note. Okay, it's been community noted on Facebook. Scromiting is being falsely tied to all marijuana use, where the actual fact differs. Scromiting is tied to THC heavy or concentrate products. Now we've talked about it a couple
In
times on the
moderation,
show.
right?
So yeah, so
I've got to
I think
talk about it again. I got to talk about it again because I just think this is ridiculous. If scromining is a thing to start with, it's from over fertilization. That's what it comes from, not from the dang plant. And most people who are out here buying weed legally, unfortunately, are buying it from these dispos who not only over fertilize, they over pesticide and over fungicide as well.
and they
This
put
is
all
what's
these
causing
flavors
scromining,
and stuff
not
like that.
marijuana.
Tell me
Yeah.
Let me
about
break it. Let me
tell me
break it
about
down
over
for you guys real quick about this. That what I think about this. We just got a Schedule 3 on marijuana. Schedule 3 opens the doors. It basically says there is some medical benefits to marijuana. The government is admitting there's medical benefits now. So with that admission comes big pharma and all these big corporations who, by the way, if you're paying attention, have already been buying into the marijuana industry. Okay. So here they come and they're going to take over everything, guys. They're going to patent stuff. They're going to patent strains. They're going to patent this and they're going to run this stuff like scromining. Marijuana makes you sick. The flower makes you sick. But hey, over here, we have these pills that are made from marijuana that won't make you sick.
We made them
This is
better. We
where
made them right.
right. But if you smoke flower, you're going to get sick. So they're going to demonize flower for corporate profit. It's coming and it's coming faster than people think. Pay
Well,
attention, you
look how
guys.
well
Scromiting's bullshit.
look how well Reefer Madness worked for so many years. It's
Yeah.
still embedded in everybody's heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question though, explain to me what over fertilizing does.
What do you mean? It does a lot, but what do you mean? There's lots of different
Well,
things it
in
does that's
relation to
bad
this,
and good. Well, I
well,
mean, if
I
you want to
don't
look
know
at the
this stuff,
good
so
point,
tell
a
me.
lot of over fertilizing, like on marijuana, a lot of over fertilizing people do it for the benefit of getting bigger plants, more product. But the
Mhm.
bad things, depending on the fertilizers you use, like if you're not an organic grower, and you can over fertilize with organic means as well, by the way. But if you're over fertilizing, you're putting too much of a chemical into a plant that somebody is going to ingest by inhaling it. And
Okay.
these chemicals,
yeah.
be them whatever they are, you'd have to look up certain chemicals to be specific, but these chemicals are going to have negative effects, such as maybe
I don't know what they're
scromiting.
fertilized with, so
Well, like it says
Well, again,
here,
that depends.
products
There's a
such as
ton of different
vapes,
fertilizer.
oils, edibles, like those are the things that you mean the
Yeah,
processed the processed versions of it. I think are becoming
yeah.
a
Well,
big
that's
problem for
totally
sure.
different thing. Like vitamin E is one of the things they put in vapes. Look what vitamin E does to the body when you inhale it.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to start this one. We're at about the 2 hours now, so maybe we should do the spin. But this is the demonization of butter and now analyzing margarine. Oh man, that could be a big ball of wax right there.
Because I got rid of the seed oils.
Literally.
I won't touch margarine. I cook with
Me
tallow that I
neither.
make at home.
I'd like to. Oh man, I'd love to get some
Beef
tallow.
tallow.
Yeah,
You could
guys,
buy
if you
it.
haven't, sorry, if you haven't got on
Springfield.
the wheel yet and you want to be on the wheel, do it now or forever hold your peace.
You got a Hy-Vee up there where you're at?
I do, yeah.
They sell beef tallow there in Hy-Vee.
I
It's in a
just
yellow and red package.
I need to
Mine's
just go to
free.
Hy-Vee more, but it's farther away. I go to Kroger,
I
and
got the
I've been.
best price. Mine's free. I go to the butcher. I say I need a package of fat trimmings. They go, here you go. I come home and make it myself.
Is it free?
Bada bing,
Do you
bada
pay for
boom.
the trimmings?
Free.
Wow.
They're gonna throw it away. Ask.
Yep.
You gotta ask.
Or put it
So
in the
like some
burger.
places might sell it to you for $1 a pound, but most places like Stater Brothers will just give it to you.
I went to the butcher to
Nice.
buy bones for the dogs, and you do have to buy those. They're usually in packages, and they're really good for your dogs. Like having a puppy, I I actually did. I worked with him differently than I've done my other dogs. He's been on much more real food than previous dogs. He's also had lots of bones. He's access to lots of these good bones from the butcher, and so he hasn't been as bad of a chewer as other puppies that I've had. Because
Yeah.
those toys that you give them, the plastic and the cloth, even if you get a good toy of some kind of whatever rubber, um, that's just a poor
Bruno,
substitute for bones and meat. They really want that real
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
my pit bull tore up every toy until I learned that, and I started to get him big leg bones, big beef leg bones,
Hmm.
and he chews through those. It takes him a while, but try to give him a stuffed toy or a rope from the store. That stuff is shredded all over the floor in minutes from this boy.
Right.
So
James, are you here?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Bones are great for him.
plastic too. Like I know you just don't even notice until you start to like try to remove plastic from your life, and then you start seeing like everything, man.
It's in
Packaging
everything. You
everywhere.
can't.
Yeah. You just can't. But I can remove. I can
Impossible now.
make small moves as far as like my dog toys and stuff. I try not to. I don't buy that kind of stuff now, and just stuff like that. I use glass as much as I can. But then it's like I drink. I'll drink my sweet tea out of a glass, but the sweet tea came in a plastic jug to start with. So like, what am I really doing here?
You could always
James,
make your own.
are you here,
Get the
James?
tea, get tea
Like
bags
I
and
got a
make your
Brita
own.
filter because I don't trust our tap water, and I don't directly drink that, but I use it for the coffee machine. So I got a Brita filter, but that's made from plastic. I can't
Hmm.
drink the tap water, so I buy bottled water, which is in plastic. I mean, how am I supposed to get around
That's
this?
Yeah.
You
Just
listen.
don't
buy
want to
RO
drink
I
sugar
told
system.
when
you.
you know tap water.
I told you I have a filter on this Sandpoint, but the calcium and lime in it is high because it just is. We've got a Keurig in here that's like $250, and we buy bottled water for that because there's
Yeah.
no way we're going to run that thing because after a while that thing will just stop,
I got a
clogged up with
brand new
calcium and lime.
coffee that I bought from Cost Plus last night, just on a lark. I expenditures. I'm trying to be careful, but I thought, it's New Year's. I want a nice coffee. It's aged in whiskey barrels. It sounded awesome, and I'm standing there in the kitchen
Yeah,
going, not using the filter. I have distilled water. My
right.
grandma used to make her coffee with distilled water. This coffee deserves distilled water.
That's what we buy. We buy it at the store, and like you said, it's in plastic.
I guess James isn't here. I'm going to spin it again. James is a subscriber and a sponsor, so I'm sure he's
He
not too
was
worried
here.
about it. Yeah, he was here most of the show. I'm surprised he didn't. That's
Just
fine.
take
Yeah,
the icing
he's
off the cake. I'm just reading the comments. Take the icing off the cake. Well, yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot more sugar in the icing too, but it's still it's the definition of empty calories, and what that
right.
means is you're not getting nutrients. Yeah.
I just
The
turned
cake
down some
itself
cake
has quite a
recently.
bit of carbs. The
I
I don't
was
cake
believe
happy
in
itself
for
has.
myself.
having
Yeah, that too.
like you don't want a negative relationship with your food, whatever it is. And so I don't believe in either saying, "Oh, I feel guilty for eating whatever," and I also don't believe in calling it a treat. So like just say,
Mm.
"I
Yeah,
decided to eat this." Just own it and get past it.
Own it, but don't try to
yeah.
fluff it up or make it sound like it was some kind of. That is a thing where what is that video
James
we
is
played
here.
last week? Remember that?
James is here. You hear me?
Yeah, he was a little late.
He
I
said
didn't.
here twice.
Yeah, but it was like 5 minutes after I was looking for him.
Yeah.
You know what, James? I'll give you one too, man. We need to get you in game night anyway. But
Said he
you
was
also have
outside getting
access
his
to it.
wife.
Ah, blame it on the wife. Sure, James. Sure. We
Well,
got
that's what one of
Alice.
the things they're good for, ain't it? No.
No excuses.
Blame it on the wife. Nah, okay. I'm gonna give them both to you because James is planning to get back on the sponsor wheel with his new drop of genetics. Shouts out to the growers only underground
This is
genetics.
going to be a 2 coffee cup day. Oh my gosh.
Hmm. I had my two. It's always a 2 cup day for me. I really just don't like no more. Start to get too jittery.
I
I
don't drink
normally drink
coffee.
Bulletproof in the morning, but this morning I decided I wanted to go ahead and eat, and so Bulletproof coffee is pointless if you're not going to do a few hours of fasting. So,
Tell
Coffee
you what,
helps me
James, I
fast.
got you. I got you
Takes
on
away
here
my
too.
hunger.
All right.
Dog, you stink. You know that? You need a bath.
Yeah, I need to do the same with mine. I was just gonna give them a bath the other day, and it was pouring down rain outside. It's like that's not a good time for me to give the
yeah,
dogs a
it's
bath.
raining here again.
Like as soon as I do that, then they got to go outside, and then it's all over.
We're
James,
going into the new year with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going into the new year with 8 days of rain. Yeah.
wow,
Where'd you say you was again? Washington?
Me, San Bernardino.
Oh, California. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. But that's why
Largest
that
county in
area
the
is so
United
beautiful,
States.
though.
Oh,
Y'all get
yeah.
rain.
true, right?
You know what? The rain is technically the rain is good. We need it, but the problem is we just had those fires and that's why the highways washed out. Everything is
Hmm.
so like it's scorched and then it's saturated and then it can't hold anymore and the next thing you know you got something reminiscent of La Conchita. We don't need that.
Hmm.
James, I
Yeah.
got you, bro. You got two coupons now. Alice, you now have 17, and Rose won earlier now has 12. Congratulations to all of you guys. Now, I think I'm going to head over to locals and do a little watch some Kill Tony and have a little private hangout. So if anybody wants to join, you're welcome. Tala, give it to us straight again. This is the thing you're going to move. You're going to change all of your sites to First Light Warrior, right? With a
Oh,
hyphen
yeah,
between Light and Warrior.
First Light Warrior is what I rebranded to, after somebody stole the previous name that had been given to me. Watch out, you guys, if you're toying with branding for something, like, don't tell people until you just put it up on all your stuff. Just do it. Don't talk about it in social media because
Sure,
there are unscrupulous jerks out there. So anyway,
it's true.
people were misreading it, because they weren't learning the backstory. And you talk about bullying and stuff. There's always somebody who wants to attack my character and talk about the no excuses thing because they don't know what that's about. But anyway, First Light Warrior, same thing. They would say,
They
"You're a
take the
light
face
warrior and you're not
value
a
and
nice person," and I'm like,
right.
"What's a light warrior?" Okay, so it's first light, which is about an hour before sunrise. I
Hmm.
get up early. There's a whole story behind that I won't take up time with right now, but it's first light. I was the lupus warrior for a long time, and I just finally decided I wanted to separate from that branding.
Right.
Yes, I am a lupus patient, but I'm trying to focus on the recovery side of it, and so
I
it
like
became
it. It makes
first
sense
light
to me.
warrior.
Check
Yeah.
Yeah.
this out though. This I don't think this was nefarious, but that's not me. This is on YouTube, and that's not me.
Oh,
um,
yeah. I stumbled across that the other day. I was like,
they haven't
"Uh,
made any more videos yet, and on their video, I'm the only comment, and I said I like the name,
I
but then
seen that, by the way.
I
funny."
changed
When
my
you
name though.
commented, I got a notification.
Notification.
I seen
That's
it when
funny.
you did it.
Might be
Yeah.
why I saw it.
Well, I changed my name because of this. Not because like I hate to change my name in response to somebody, but I put my name. I put Waylon in there, Waylon the indoor farmer, because nobody can take that. I mean, very
It's
much. Well, let me
Right.
personalized.
just say much more, much less. Much more fewer people who could do that
Yeah.
because I have met a lot. I've seen a lot of Waylons now that I'm more public online. There's a lot of Waylons on Facebook, but
I only
yes,
know of one, and now he was a country singer, old
That's
Waylon
why I
Jennings.
finally decided, like, I'm hyphenating first light so people understand it's first light, not light warrior, you know?
Right.
But also with
Hmm.
my tagline, savage, not average, I added a character to personalize that as well, to make it branded because for whatever reason, the same year that I came up with that hashtag, a whole bunch of other people did at the same time.
Hmm.
So it was just like one of those Akashic moments. Like everybody went, "This sounds good."
Flipped on, yeah, turned on for
But
everybody.
I added the semicolon because the semicolon is a symbol of a survivor. And it basically means my story is not over because it's used in writing in that way. So it's savage with a
Sure.
semicolon, not average. Yeah.
Is
Very
this
cool.
the name of your group or what?
I am a content creator. I'm also a live stream broadcaster, but I'm also now an AI content creator. Um, in
Yeah, but what's
that,
your name on Facebook so I can follow you? That's really what I wanted to know.
oh,
I'm
First
sorry.
Light Warrior is the page that I've got. Yeah, that's my content page as far as my work. Yeah, First Light Warrior.
Oh, you guys, I gotta respond to one last. I don't know when it was 11 minutes ago. He says it's still so crazy to get called a bully while you were running a whole private campaign for people to not support me. No, actually, after you were being a bully is when I went into my private group community and I said, "Look, you guys," and then all the people in there that comment and actually engage with that community already see you if you're still here with all these comments. So it wasn't anything new to them. I just said
That's
finally,
you.
I basically just said finally that look, I don't really need anybody who's friends, uh, with that guy around here. There wasn't a whole campaign. Don't puff smoke up your own butt like that, buddy. No
He's
campaign
so
involved there.
he's so important that we just spent 2
Yes.
hours not talking about him.
Right. Well, look, I probably gave him way too much airtime. He probably felt really special from that. But again, I'll wrap this up by saying I worry about you. Clearly, if I'm renting such space in somebody's head like that, then you got other problems besides me. So I hope you have a good 2026, and I hope everybody else does as well. Ty, if you want to shout anything out, the Cannabis Connoisseur on Facebook, go follow and join the group. Um, there's not a lot. The groups like I know James in the comments. He's always having trouble with his group. The groups on Facebook don't mean a lot anymore. They're hard. So follow Ty specifically if you want to check out his grow and his plants. Got a lot of knowledge, but join the group if you can. I mean, I have a group. I literally just have it so that maybe an extra notification will hit people. Like that's the only reason I even made this stupid thing. So yeah. Anyway, love you guys and Merry New Year. Hope you all have a good night. Be careful. Be safe. I think I'm going to be going live with Nancy later on. They invited me back, so I might be hopping up on and hanging out. I'll just be around the house. You guys doing anything for New Year's?
Are you
New
going to
Year's Eve?
locals? Are you going to
I'm gonna
locals?
go over there right now. Yeah, if you want to join, you're welcome. Tala, you doing
Can you
anything
just
tonight?
send
Gonna
a
stay up
link?
to midnight? Yeah, I will.
I wanted to
Okay.
just kinda, like, maybe head out towards Minton and just, enjoy the trees and the night air, but it's raining.
Yeah, no,
And
no fun.
like, as far as in the city, I wouldn't be out of the house if you paid me. I avoid that because there's a lot of
Crazies.
yeah.
It's crazy night. It's
What
amateur
goes
hour.
up
They call
comes
it.
down.
They call it
Yeah.
amateur
So,
hour. That's the phrase it's
yeah.
always been for me. But yeah, all right.
I'll
Everybody
be
have
at
a good
home.
one. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm sure for people in the boxes tomorrow night. I'm going to push for us to talk about New Year's resolutions, not just the new ones, but the past ones. Did you ever stick to one? In general, that's going to be a topic for I think it'll be interesting to hear from the co-host on like what they think, what they're hoping to do next year, and we'll all have to guess whose story it is, just like normal. So come back tomorrow night for 8
That
o'clock
sounds like a
Central
good
Time.
idea.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, because it'll actually push us as hosts to think about what we want to accomplish next year in order to put a story in the game. So if you know,
I could
if you know,
chime
you
in
know.
on that probably.
Well, I will try to remind you. Don't tempt me because we always want to get a guest on and have some people that haven't played the game yet. And I'll explain the game to you offline if you want. Anyway, I'm heading over to
I
locals.
only played once.
Yeah, you played, so you kind of know a little bit about it, and we'll talk about it some more tomorrow, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks guys. We'll see you later. Thanks Ty. Thanks Tala. Good show. Remember,
Peace.
everybody's got to eat.
Yeah, this is for my green thumbs in the game. Wayland the indoor farmer, check my name. Sustainability, we about to reclaim. This is how we do it, keep it in the frame. I'm Wayland the farmer, the indoor king. Living off the grid, what the city can't bring. Got my hydro setup, my LED lights. Growing all my greens, all through the night. Self-sustain, that's the mission. Growing my own, I'm not missing. Indoor farming, the hustle's real. Wayland's here, and he's